All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 12th, 2023 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board. The meeting will now come to order. Could we have a roll call, Madam Secretary?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Harrington?
Here.
Ms. Marsh?
Here.
Ms. Roby?
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Present.
And Madam Chair?
Here.
And Mr. Reggio.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes? Additions or corrections? All right. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington. Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Anybody need to disclose any ex parte communication? All right. Do we have any announcements, Madam Secretary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can we excuse Ms. Himes?
Excuse me?
Can we excuse Ms. Himes?
Oh, make a motion to excuse Ms. Himes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Motion to excuse Ms. Himes. Ms. Roby, second. Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. I'm a little rusty. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, page number 2. Lien review. CEB 0521 144 1308 Sunland Road will be via Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. Page 7. Case number 15, CEB. Case number 15, CEB 1122.
Wait a minute. Case number 15 would be on page 8.
Oh,
Seven.
page 7.
You got the wrong
You're new.
agenda. You need the other agenda, Ouija.
You have it next to you, ma'am.
I thought we just renumbered them all.
You did, but you didn't change your pages.
Okay.
Case-
All right, go ahead.
Case number 15 is on page 7 on my agenda.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
CEB 1122 260 Stella Marbell Aracho 119 Mason Park Drive in compliance.
Wait a minute, I don't have that. I'm on page 7. What page do I need to be on?
Yeah, that's not, I don't have it as.
Number
Here.
15? Oh.
Where's your
you got
pages
it.
that were, this one? Here's your new agenda.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of this one.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Look there.
It's in here, Ouija.
I know, no, I know
Those
where
that
it is.
got here
I want,
early figured that out.
I'll get it. What, okay. Case number 15, the old case number 15, or the new case number 15 is on page 8, correct? Stella Maribel, is that where we are?
No, it's on page 7.
Still say 7.
Still
Okay.
page 7.
What case number is it?
This case right here.
Okay,
1122.
I got it, sorry. I am, but I renumbered them all, but I didn't renumber the pages, so.
This might be number 8 if you want to
Okay, all right, no, I don't, I'm good. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, case number 15, CEB 1122 260 Stella Marbell Aracho 119 Mason Park Drive, compliance 19/2023. Page number 9. Case number 25 will not be heard today. It will be heard to appear in February.
Case number 25.
Yes, sir.
That's Pelican Avenue.
If we can have one more.
Okay, let me correct that. Case number 25 was ordered to appear in February, not this agenda, and it got accidentally added to the agenda.
So we're just not hearing it
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Right, but
That's
it
correct.
was noticed.
They were noticed and
so,
everything.
I don't know how Mr. Riggio would want y'all to handle that. It was noticed, but it was not scheduled. Based on the prior order. The prior order said they would have been,
Yeah.
they had told February to come into compliance.
Okay.
So they need to take any action, Mr. Riggio.
Their order previously scheduled it for February?
The previous order gave them until February to come into compliance or return in February for,
This just seems to be a clerical type thing.
okay.
As long as they're aware, if they're here, then they should be informed that the order controls and that they will be heard in February.
Okay,
They were
very good.
informed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're just going to skip that case, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna,
Okay. Do we have to say anything? Or just,
No, it's just, it appears it's an error on this agenda.
Yes,
so
it
it's
is.
just an error? Okay.
Okay, page number 12. Case number 35, CEB 01-2314, Sarah J. Brimmer, in compliance 1/9/2023. And those are my announcements.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for the confusion. I was working from an old agenda, and I used my agenda, it wasn't an old agenda, but I take notes on my agenda, and I couldn't transfer them in time to do this. Anyway, all right, let's start. Would our code officers please stand up and be sworn in?
Will you raise your right hand? Oh, they're already up. Sorry, guys. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, all right, here's our procedure, everybody. We'll be calling the cases by number and for the most part in order as they are listed on the agenda. If there are attorneys that need to be in court, we'll hear those cases first. If there are police officers that are going to testify, we will hear those cases first, too. When your case, we'll get to you. When your case is called, please come forward and be sworn in. State your name and address for the record. If you are not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner of the property. Our proceedings are recorded, so please speak directly into the mic. The board hears from the code officers first, and then you will be given the opportunity to respond. Please direct all your responses to the board. Witnesses may also testify following the same procedures. Okay, are there any attorneys that need to be heard first?
Yes, that's one.
You have a court case, sir? That coming up?
What
He's-
was it?
He's
You-
case number 8.
What?
He's case number 8.
8. Do you have a court, you need to be in court?
Not right away, but pretty soon I will.
Okay.
I got to,
All right, so your case 8?
I am here on it.
All right, so we're going to hear that.
Is this the case for Ms. Keating?
It is.
Okay. Case 8.
Case 8, CEB 09-22-204, is that the case number?
Yes.
Okay. And you're Attorney Andrews, right?
Right.
And you are Ms. Keating? Okay. All right. Unpermitted accessory structures. Let's see, what's going on here? Oh, are you going to speak?
I don't expect her to, but I expect that it'll be sufficient to hear from the code enforcement.
Okay, so we'll hear from our code enforcement officer. Sarah, good morning.
Okay. Good morning, Sarah Kirk, inspector with the city. My credentials are on file. Since the last hearing, I have had contact. There has been some progress. I have had a conversation with the city's engineer, and the city is in the process of vacating the right-of-way behind South Landville. A utility easement will remain. It's going to be a long process, and the property owner will still need to obtain all necessary permits according to the new property lines. With that being said, staff is requesting to amend to the April cutoff.
Is that something?
We are agreeable.
We are agreeable to that. Great. Okay.
I move to
Amend the,
end this case to the April cutoff for hearing.
okay. Mr. Harrington has made a motion to amend this case to the April cutoff. Does anybody have that date?
Yes, it's 4/5/22.
4/5/23.
I'll second.
To come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Ms. Roby, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay,
Madam
good.
Chair, although Mr. Andrews doesn't represent number 9, it's the exact same circumstance. I didn't know if you want to consider that now or not. I know you don't represent number 9, but it's the exact same situation. It's just the-
No, I don't want to, no, I want to get the lien reviews done. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah, I know. Let's do lien review number 1 first. CEB 11-21-348. Respondent present? Okay. Guess we won't hear from the respondent. All right, go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the City of Qualifications on file. This case began on 7/14/21 for a damaged roof. It remained that way for quite some time as the homeowner was dealing with insurance issues. The owner did appear when the fine was imposed. The fine was $25 per day. The roof was finally completed on 11/3/22 after settlement with the insurance companies.
So what is your recommendation?
City recommends a reduction to $1,000.
Any comments from the board?
No, I think that's fair. I mean, everybody's going through this.
Well, yeah, it's very messy, and they were very diligent about trying, as I recall, they were very diligent about trying to get things done
Yeah, I see no reason that we can't reduce it.
to 1,000.
Second.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to reduce the amount of the lien to $1,000, subject to being paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert to the original amount. Such a motion?
Second. Or, so moved.
Ms. Roby, motion? Oh,
Oh, yeah.
all right.
I'll make the.
You're making the motion. You didn't say the word, so. All right, Mr. Harrington, the motion. Ms. Roby, the second.
He second.
Mr. Gonzalez, the second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Like sign opposed, motion carries. Lien number 2.
Sorry.
CEB 05-21-144. I understand this is going to be Zoom. Hello.
Good morning. Sean Allen, authorized agent on behalf of Windward East Group Incorporated.
I'm sorry. Could you speak up? And I didn't get your name, sir.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Hopefully you can hear me now. Sean Allen, authorized agent on behalf of Windward East Group Incorporated
Okay.
for the property located at 1308 Sunland Road.
Okay. Thank you very much. Will you be
Will you-
sworn
Yes,
in,
ma'am.
please?
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's hear from Mr. Stenson from the city.
This case was complaint-driven. Notice was posted on the property on February 5th, 2021. Notice of hearing was also posted on March 16th, 21. There was no attendance by the property owner. There was fine was imposed of $100 a day and maxed out in September of 21. The city is recommending a reduction to $2,500.
Okay. I'm looking at the lien amounts, administrative fees, all that numbers that are crossed out. What is the actual lien amount? $10,570 and $10,570.80. Should that be the correct amount?
Madam Chairman, there's an additional sheet that was passed out.
Yes, that's
for
the hardship.
$15,000, if you look at it. $15,024.
For
No,
number
that's the
two?
Third one.
Well,
That's,
the third
that,
one.
no, that's, yeah, we're looking at number two.
I stand
Madam-
corrected.
Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair, they're gonna.
Thankfully.
Kim
But
said
there
the
is
thing
a
was sent
sheet
out
for 10,000.
It's $10,024
Too.
is the amount.
What are those numbers that I have on my sheet?
Yes, that's
The
what Kim.
483.80 and then the total of 10,570
Yes,
and
ma'am.
80 cents. Is that incorrect?
I asked Kim about it yesterday. She told me that it was, it's incorrect. She's gonna just go ahead and, because she had given them the.
Okay. So the correct amount is 10,024, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. What would you like to talk to about the hardship?
If you are addressing me,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, essentially, our company buys foreclosed properties in estates. We spend considerable resources to renovate these properties. This property has been completely renovated and sold. We made it beautiful for the neighborhood and hopefully beautiful for the city.
Okay.
I'm not, opposing the $2,500 that Mr. Stenson has requested. I mean, if there's an opportunity to argue for less for what we have done to the, I believe, the Fairview community, I would ask. Otherwise, it's acceptable.
Okay, good.
For the amount of work and efforts we put in to make this.
Okay, great. And thank you for getting these things corrected and doing that. Any,
The photo that, I don't,
oh, we do have a photo?
He's got to scroll.
That,
No.
Thank you, Mr.
No, I mean,
Ne-
this is
never
the property,
mind.
but this isn't the completed.
that's not improved.
Right.
Yeah,
This is what it looked like in the beginning.
okay.
Okay.
All right, do we have any discussion from the board? All right, Chair will entertain a motion to reduce the amount of your lien to $2,500, subject to being paid within 30 days of the fine will revert to the original amount. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Marsh, second? Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, lien review 3. Mr. Bostwick. Do we have the respondent here? Okay, would you state your name and address for the record? and be
My name
sworn
is
in?
Bruce Jarnigan. I'm the manager of Estate Discovery Solutions LLC, who is the owner of the property. And my address is 2665 North Atlantic Avenue, number 219, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Thank you. What is your name again, sir?
Bruce Jarnigan.
Bruce Jernigan. Okay. Okay.
This is screwed up.
Will you raise your right hand, sir?
Pardon?
Will you raise your right hand?
Oh,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Thank you.
All right. So
Madam
Mr.
Chair.
Boswick, what would you like to tell us?
It's Mark Jones,
I'm-
Supervisor with Code Enforcement. We look alike.
Yeah, no, not really.
Doing a review of this case, we did find that there were some processing issues. We would like to go ahead and vacate this fine and the order.
What were the processing issues?
The property was sold on a quick claim deed and it was recorded on December 20th, 2021. We then heard the case for the first time on January 12th, 2022.
Right.
We should have been notified
Right.
of the sale. They should have researched it to know that there was, if they had looked into the city's, the violation was in place. But we've decided to go ahead and just vacate the fine.
Okay.
And just for a little more completion on that, the statute requires that the seller notify us of a sale, and in this situation, this was a tax deed purchase.
There was tax
Well,
deed.
It wasn't a tax deed purchase, but it was a purchase in lieu of the tax deed sale, so it was intercepted the tax deed sale, so the seller did not notify us. And neither did
Plus the previous owner passed away 8 days after he got notified.
And so with that being the case, I mean, there's a whole lot of arguments on why we could maybe push the issue of whether or not they should have done something, but the reality is they didn't have a duty under the law to let us know.
Okay.
And we never did tell them. So it wasn't until April
Okay.
that we imposed. So
Okay.
we-
All right. Any discussion from the board? Motion to vacate the order lien review 301-2207.
The fine and the order.
What?
The fine and the
The
order.
fine and the order.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, is there a second? Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, now we'll get to our cases for all of you sitting out here. We're going to start case number one is CEB 11-22-253, Christina Ramdular. Ms. Ramdular here? Okay.
Morning, Board. Inspector Jean-Baptiste. Since last hearing, I've had no communications with the owner or any of their representatives. No progress observed. Staff is requesting a fine of $100 a day to be capped at $10,000. As you can see in the picture, it appears that the grass is being cut. However, that is being done by a concerned neighbor, not the actual owners.
No contact at all, huh?
No, ma'am.
And the only thing that's been done is the grass has been cut.
Correct, by neighbor, not the
Okay,
owners.
Yeah,
Is
okay.
the debris still there?
Correct. It's right on the porch.
Okay.
I make a motion to, for case number CB 11-22-253, to take the city's recommendation for the fine of $100 a day up to the maximum of $10,000.
All right, starting today. All right, Ms. Roby makes the motion, second Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Case number 2, CEB 09-22-213, Carl D. and Charles M. Weaver. All right, anyone here? Respondent no show? Okay. Last time, I believe the granddaughter was here, but today no one is, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Board. Inspector Bostwick, credentials on file with the city. All right, since the last hearing in December, I've had some contact with the granddaughter. The property has not been sold. Staff requests a fine of $100 a day with a max of $10,000.
So may, did the violations remain?
Yes, sir.
Okay, violations.
I'll make the motion that in the case, CB 09-22-213-213, that we adopt the inspector's recommendation, and accepting the fine recommendation.
Which is $100 per day,
Per day.
up to $10,000 starting today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez made a motion. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 3, CEB 10-22-235, Alan M. Korn at 7 Woodmer Circle. Mr. Korn here? Nope. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Bosco.
All right, since the last hearing, I've been in touch with Mr. Korn. They did take care of the exterior of the home, and the fascia was repaired, the landscaping was completed. They have a proposal from J&M Roofing Services Incorporated. They're going to be signing the contract sometime this week to get the roof done, so I would like to amend to the next cutoff.
Are they going to need,
Yes, the contractor will be pulling a permit once they sign the contract.
okay. So you want to amend to next meeting,
Yes, ma'am, to give them some time.
which is 2/1. Okay.
Right.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 2/1/23 to come into compliance or return to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, case number 4. Morning, Mr. Alderman. CEB 10-22-229, Adabasuja. Respondent present. Okay.
Good morning, Madam
morning.
Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name is Steve Alderman, Neighborhood Services Inspector for the City of Daytona Beach, and my credentials are on file. Since the last hearing, there has been no contact. There's been no progress. Staff requested a determination of a fine of $100 a day to a cap of $15,000.
There's been no improvements?
None.
And no, and no contact.
No contact.
Does anyone live there?
No, not at this time.
So there are no tenants there. Okay. Any discussion from the board? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $15,000.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Ruby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 5, CEV 10-22-237, Lloyd Haynes. Mr. Haynes available today? No. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Alderman.
Since the last hearing, there's been, I have had verbal contact. There's been no progress, and this case was opened back July 21 of 21. So staff is asking for a fine of $100 per day, a cap of $10,000.
Look at these pictures. I wasn't here, so I need to. Okay.
Did he tell you when you talked to him why he hasn't done anything?
Well, they had been gone for a while because I had been posting it, but then to me, the structure, I thought, sure, there was like a deceased or death in the family. Then all of a sudden they showed up. I talked to them. He said he had other things he was going to do, but he'd get it done. But that was a good 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were notified in, this says they were notified in July of 2021.
Yes, that's when it began.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's, yeah, okay. All right, Chair, any discussion? Any other discussion? Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $10,000. Such a motion, Ms. Roby? Second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 6, CEB 11-22-255, ARC Capital Management and Investment, LLC. Any respondent for this case? Okay. Mr. Alderman.
Since the last hearing, I had not heard from them until.
You did or you did not?
Pardon?
You did hear from them?
Just recently,
Okay.
2 days ago.
Okay.
There has been verbal contact at the last hearing as well. There's been some progress in the fact that he showed me a permit, but I never got to physically see it. Then when he showed up at the office the other day, he showed me a permit that was not valid. So I verified with Melissa at the building department. He was supposed to go from the office over to the building department and obtain a permit. He did not show up there, so the staff is requesting a fine of $200 per day to $15,000.
Where is this company located?
This is 456 Pleasant.
No, the company, the ARC, do you know?
Oh,
where he's
oh,
located?
Yeah, who is Moselle Fleming?
I believe the company is out of Orlando.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Any discussion? Motion to impose a fine of $200 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the maximum of $15,000.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Case number 7, CEB 09-22-205. I guess it's L-Lots or Yachts.
Lots.
LLC. Anyone here for this case? Respondent? Okay. Ms. Kirk.
Okay, since the last hearing, I have had contact with the property owner. There has been progress. It's almost completed. We're just waiting on the driveway permit to be final. Staff's requesting to amend to the February cutoff for compliance.
Okay. What's been done?
Okay, I just want to show you, that's a before, and then that's after, that's current, yesterday.
Oh, okay, good.
So lots have actually been
Yeah.
done. So I'd like to give him another month.
The matter of the driveway permit?
Right, he's had several permits, they've been finalized, and then the contractor he hired, laid the, driveway without a permit. So he had to go back and get it after the fact permit.
Thanks. Any comments from the board? All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of non-compliance and allow respondent until 2/1 to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration and fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Mr. Gonzalez, the motion. Is there a second? Ms. Roby? All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Case number 8.
That's already been,
We did that. Thank you very much. Okay, case number 9. CEB 11-22-249, Charlene Rollins. Ms. Rollins here. Good morning. State your name and address for the record.
Charlene Rollins, 612 South Landville Avenue, Daytona Beach.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Can you pull your mic down? Because I couldn't hear you. Okay. Can you state your name again for me?
Charlene Rollins.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll hear from Ms. Kirk, and then we'll give you an opportunity to speak. Okay?
Okay. Since the last hearing, I have had contact. There has been progress. It's very similar to a previous case. The city engineer I spoke with, they're in the process of vacating the right-of-way behind South Landville. Utility easement will remain. It's going to be a long process. Property owner will still need to get all the necessary permits, but it's going to be according to the new property lines. So staff is requesting to amend to the April cutoff.
Okay. Any discussion?
you might want to ask the,
Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, really. Okay.
Make a motion to take the city's recommendation on case number CEB 11-22-249 to amend to cut off.
Okay.
Second.
All right, motion from Ms. Roby, second from Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Good. Okay. Case number 10, CEB 02-21-44, Keith Thomas.
I'm surprised he's not here.
He wasn't able to make it today.
He actually came in, but
He did.
was
I
in a lot
saw
of
him
pain.
on the way out. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He what?
He was in a lot of pain.
Oh, okay. All right, well,
Okay.
all right, Ms. Kirk.
Thank you. Since the last hearing, there has been some progress. We now have a notice of condemnation and demolition order. The city is going to demolish his property. Once the demo permit is final, then I can close this case, and then the case will continue on the other end, not in here. So with that being said, staff's requesting to amend to the April cutoff for compliance.
And the compliance is going to be demolition.
Right, once that demolition permit's final, then I can close the case as far as the code board is concerned.
Wow, okay. So that would be the April 5th cutoff. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance to allow respondent until April 5th, 2023 to come into compliance, be returned to a subsequent meeting for a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Such a motion? Ms. Roby, second. Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 11, CEB 07-21-223. Respondent present.
Okay, since the last, thank you. Since the last hearing, I have not had any contact. I did verify that the property owner is still on the city's assistance waiting list. She's been on it since June of 2019, as well as the city's facade grant program. So staff is requesting to amend to the April cutoff for compliance.
So you have had contact? Or you have not?
Not recently, not with the owner. I have had contact with Mr. Orrender in the housing department of the city.
So they're working on it?
Right.
And what program is it?
She is in the master, she's on the waiting list for a master rehab, plumbing, HVAC, doors, windows, siding, and also the city's facade grant program.
So these are all city programs?
Yes.
So she's been on this list for 3-4 years?
June 17th, 2019.
Wow.
I guess we can't get contractors.
Well, yeah, okay. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until April 5th to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion. Ms. Roby, second.
Second.
Mr. Marsh, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Wow, that's pretty amazing. All right, case number 12, CEB 02-22-65, Kirk Murphy and Don Roberts. Respondents present. So I'm very happy that if you all have cases up there, that you're here. Because it's your opportunity to tell us what's going on. When you don't show up, we have one side that we listen to instead of two sides. So, thank you for coming. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Kirk.
Okay, thank you. Since the last hearing, I have not had any contact. This property's been on the city's assistance waiting list for roofing and rehab since November 30th of 2021. I did find out recently that the property was condemned on 12/5 of 22. So with that being said, it may be in compliance a little bit sooner than I was expecting, but we would still like to request to amend to the April cutoff.
Okay, so this is another demolition project.
Right, he was on the waiting list, but now.
For what?
For a roof and rehab. No, the very end of 2021, he got on the waiting list, and then 12/5/22, the property was condemned by the city,
I guess from the hurricane.
Yeah.
possibly.
Okay. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend previous order non-compliance and allow respondent until April 5th, 2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Such motion? What was that? Okay, motion, Ms. Martin. Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 13. CEB 01-22-39, Sarah Riles, Edward and Devon Robinson. No.
Since the last hearing, I have had contact. There has been progress. So staff's requesting to amend to the April cutoff for compliance.
What's the progress?
Okay, so that's a before, and then that's a after. So they have the new windows in, there's a permit for those. They have a plumbing permit open, they have a carport, repair permit opened.
Okay.
So they've got open permits and they're working on the property.
Okay, good.
They've been working since 21.
Well, I will say that they are, if you recall, they're in that program, I think it's called DACA,
They're
or
on
something
another
like
one of those wonderful
Right,
programs.
it's not a city program, it's a different
Right.
program.
Right.
Yeah, so they got the funds, so it's just been a
Oh, so
long
they finally
process.
got the funds from the program. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be, there's nothing we can do about it, but it seems to be an issue that people don't get funding for these programs, and then the building gets totally ruined and has to be demolished. That's not making a lot of sense to me, but okay.
And this street was also on a flood street, South Carolina, so.
South Carolina, right. All right, so you're asking to amend, is that it?
Meant to April cutoff.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend producer in noncompliance and allow respondent until April 5th, 2023 to come into compliance, be returned to the board for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Case number 14. CEB 11-22-246. LaKayla Appling. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Butler.
Good morning. Inspector Roosevelt Butler, credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As pertains to 1241 Cadillac, since last month, the court proceedings, I've had no contact with the property owner and press. Staff requests a fine of $100 a day to a maximum of $10,000.
And they live there, somebody's in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any more discussion from the board?
Person in the house is the owner or a renter?
Owner.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the maximum of $10,000.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 15 is in compliance. Case number 16, CEB 11-22-262, Christine Young.
As pertains to 934 Derbyshire Road, since December court proceedings, I've had no contact with the owner and no progress. Outdoor storage landscaping issues still remain at the property, which is a total blight in our community. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day to a maximum of $15,000.
Is the property occupied?
Yes, ma'am.
But not by the owner?
No, ma'am.
It's a rental?
Yes.
This is
All right, let's look at these pictures,
Rental?
because that's a hefty fine.
I'm sorry?
Oh, geez. Those are current pictures?
Oh, those are current. Absolutely.
This is a rental property?
Yeah.
Yes. And you can ride by there anytime, any day, and it's just like that.
A rental license?
That's something we're looking into. Okay. Several complaints from the community that come in weekly
bet.
about this property.
Yeah. Any other comments from the board?
I'll make the motion, though. In case number CEB 11-22-262, to charge the respondent $250 a day up to $15,000 starting today until he comes into compliance.
Okay. Ms. Roby made the motion. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor?
We'll take them all.
No, oh, sorry. I saw him raise his hand out of the corner of my eye. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
My goodness.
Case number 17, CEB 01-22-16, This is Maybelle Bazell, who I believe is deceased, is that right? Is Maybelle deceased?
Yes, she
Okay.
is, yes.
And the last time her daughter showed up?
Yes, Ms. Pratt, she's been to every court proceeding.
Okay,
She couldn't make it today, but I have the information to
okay, good.
present. As it pertains to 1058 North Libby Court, since December court proceedings, I've had several conversations with the property owner, who now has an after-the-fact permit, and the permit needs to be finalized. This is where we are. I spoke with Ron Roberts, who's the city inspector that goes out and inspects the roofs. Because this roof was put on by another contractor, Ron now is asking them to remove several squares from the roof so that he can see that the proper procedures were done before he would sign off.
Finalizes it?
Yes. So with that being said,
What is he looking for?
the peel and stick.
Oh, it's peeling?
Peel and stick, that's one of the requirements with roofs today.
Yep.
With that being said, I request to amend to the next cutoff.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend, any questions? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 2/1/2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby. Second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 18, CEB 06-22-127, Shannon Martin Shore. Aha, you're here. Good. I know, you have been. Okay.
It's,
Shannon
there you go.
Martin, Shannon Shore.
Shannon Martin Shore, is that all right?
I'm trying to change it. Really am.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, the lovely.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
Since the last hearing, I've had contact with the owner. She's got the material to get the wall fixed, but she's told me that there's been a delay because her contractor is working on some seawalls, which are taking priority over her project. Staff is recommending to amend compliance to the March cutoff.
I do have a date that he gave me, that everything's purchased for the wall
Okay.
to be repaired.
Okay.
Right now, it's the concrete truck is what he's ordering next. So he said he should be able to start by February 10th if all of his seawall housing projects go well. He's fixing a lot of those things that became priority over mine during the hurricane.
Right, I understand that.
It's a 1 or 2 day project because when we move that concrete, we have to put it right back.
Right.
If not, the
Right.
next door neighbor's swimming pool will fall. So it should be a 1 day weekend project is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Mr. Jones, what was your recommendation?
The March cutoff.
Okay. Any comments from the board?
And the lovely neighbor knocked all that off the wall for me while he painted over his cracking wall that's also cracking still. He just keeps painting it.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 3/1/2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Marsh, second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay,
What was the date, Mark?
March 1st.
March 1st. Thank
Just
you.
let me know when
Okay.
it's completed.
It's just,
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, case number 19. Good morning, Mr. Yates.
Good morning.
This is case number 19, CEB 08-22-169, Diane Alexander. Provision of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is that the motion? Motion, Ms. Roby, second? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, case number 20, CEB 09-22-226, Vanna Sheris.
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact with the owner, who has been coordinating with demo contractors in the permit department to finalize the plans for demo of the home, which we believe can be done by February. So I'd like to amend
This.
Yeah, there was a fire, and it was actually all set to. We wanted to make a few changes.
Okay.
It was December of.
Okay. From the board?
Tear that house down or?
Completely down and restored.
Correspondent until 3/1?
2/1.
2/1?
February.
Sorry. Allow respondent until 2/1 to come into compliance. We return to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is it motion? Mr. Gonzalez, second? Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Case number 21, CEB 10-22-228, PB Lands LP 1GP Inc.
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact with the owner, and they have gotten a permit to begin the renovation work. I'd like to amend to the March cutoff to allow the work to start.
Did you say March, Kevin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so this has been going on since
September of 21.
September of 2021. They were first notified.
Now, there has been a new owner in between this,
Okay,
and so that's why there's some gap there.
okay. Let's look at these pictures. So has anything been accomplished?
Besides the permit, no. No, they got the permit right at the end of December. And they said supposedly they told me that yesterday afternoon they cleaned up the site, but I visited yesterday morning, and as of yesterday morning there had been no change.
Where is this group of owners? Where are they located?
They are, I believe they're in the state, but I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
I know I speak regularly with their representative, as compared to the last owner.
And that's Lucchese or what's his name?
PB Lands L.
Yeah, but the principal, the person you talk to is Lucchese,
No, I speak with his real estate guy.
who is, does he have a name?
I don't have it in front of me, I'm sorry.
All right, so the gap between when they're first notified and when their case was first is a year, basically.
Well,
So, and in that time,
6 months into that, we got a new owner.
right, okay,
And so, I gave him a fresh start with the same owner. They kept saying, oh, we're working on this, we're getting it. And so we wanted to give him time. But then when I saw him not performing, we brought him back. But of course, there's been a major delay because of the hearings we've also missed. So this has gone on a little longer than we thought it would.
who missed?
We didn't have hearings.
Oh, because we
Yeah.
didn't have.
Right. So we would have moved faster on it, but now that he has the permit,
Okay.
I feel like I can't just
Okay.
go and find him.
Yeah. Which actually gave them more time to work.
Yeah.
It says here unpermitted renovation. What did they do that was I'm sorry, this one kind of bothers me.
Yeah, the inside has been, all the walls have been removed, and it's a total interior renovation. In addition to that, the roof's been partially removed. Basically, just a total renovation was started, and I caught him in the middle of it.
Okay. Have the permits been verified?
Yes,
Okay, what permits are they getting?
a renovation permit that would,
An overall
correct.
renovation?
Yeah, it's, I believe the value is around $150,000.
And that was issued in December?
Yes, December 29th.
Anybody have anything to say about this?
I think that property is up for sale. I recognize it.
It was, I have since been informed that it no longer is.
Has this person been to any of the meetings?
I don't believe so, no.
But you do have contact?
Yes.
Have they shared with you by when they can have the job done, finished?
I do not have a completion date as of yet because the physical work has not started on the property, so.
Well, the physical work started, but without a permit.
Right.
Well, that was a different owner, though. That wasn't these guys, so they have nothing to do with that work.
Oh, so that was a different.
Yeah, that has not, they did not start, they bought, basically, I was bringing it to hearing. It sold, so then the new owner had to be re-noticed, and that's how they came into this picture.
Well, you're being very nice to him, but, I mean, we have nothing to lose by.
How long have they owned the property?
I believe it's about 6 months.
I mean, our alternatives are, of course, to fine. Another alternative is to request a progress report for next
I
month.
think we should do that at the February meeting instead of letting them go to March.
Well, if.
Make sure that they're working.
Absolutely. The only thing I'll say is if we do the progress report, then I don't believe that we can move on to a fine if there's been no progress. So I'd like to amend the compliance date to February in that case. That way, so if we don't see the progress, we can move forward immediately.
That would be the better way to handle it. We'll just amend it to the next cutoff.
Okay.
That way, we'll be able to know if anything has started.
Right.
And hopefully, Inspector Yates will have.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. Does that sound okay with everybody? All right. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 2/1 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? So, Ms. Roby, motion, second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Harrington, all in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, case 22, Timothy Cropper. Mr. Cropper here? No. Okay.
Nobody cares about their stuff.
I guess, I don't know.
Since the last hearing, we have had contact, and one of the vehicles was moved, but in the front yard where it's not supposed to be. So I'd like to ask for a fine of $100 a day to a maximum of $10,000.
So so one car was moved, but.
Yeah, if you see that, the Chevy right there,
Yeah.
that's on the actual grass,
Right.
he moved it over
In front of
in front of the boat, but the boat still can't be in the front yard.
and then he's got another car where the boat could be.
Correct. And if both those were in the driveway and the boat was over there, then we'd be fine, but
So are you considering this a repeat violation?
it was not heard as a repeat violation. We cannot proceed in that direction, and that's why it's the per day fine instead.
What is your recommendation?
$100 a day to a maximum of 10,000.
What does he say? If you've had contact with him, what does he say?
He just said he moved everything. I said, no, you didn't. This is via email, and he hasn't gotten back with me. I'm sorry, it wasn't email, it was a message I left him, and he never got back with me.
Okay.
So we've had some communication, but not much.
Well, I wouldn't, so you emailed him and.
No, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. In this case, it was a voicemail that he had left. I returned his voicemail saying, that's still not in compliance.
And that photo's from January 11th.
Yes, that's from yesterday.
Was this complaint driven or you just?
Well, since he had done it before and I was the inspector who first cited him, when I drove by again, it's just sort of something that sticks out. You know, once you cited a property for something, you notice it the second time around.
Right. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100, any more discussion? Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $1,000. Oh, of $10,000, sorry.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
Mr. Gonzalez made the motion, second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign. Opposed, all right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Case number 23, CEB 06-22-124. Yvonne Pierce is not going to show because I don't believe that, from the notes, that she's living anymore. So, did anyone, no one showed for her case last time, or? Okay.
Since the last hearing, I've had one phone call from the son. I'm sorry, the brother. Yvonne is deceased.
Right.
There's been no change. He still doesn't have possession of the property, and the city's asking for $100 a day to be capped at 10.
Has he applied for probate, did he say, John?
No, he did not say.
Are we doing 15,000 or 10?
10.
Does the son still live there?
Yes, he does.
And it's being cited for a damaged roof.
Yes. There's quite a few shingles that are
Shingles
just
missing?
gone. Mhm.
Oh, I see. I got it. Okay. And would he be allowed, no, to pull a permit to do the roof? No, not without going through probate. Okay. And there's no, you don't see any effort being made in that direction?
No.
Okay. Any other comments?
Is there a lot of these shingles missing, or it's just a couple?
Well, you look at it, I mean.
There's quite a few missing.
You can
There's
see.
quite a few missing. There's multiple angles.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $10,000. Motion, Ms. Roby, second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Now, case number 24, CEB 06-22-138. Nicole Marjanowitz. Is that how you say that? Yeah. Oh, good.
You got it.
Okay. All right, good. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in. Thanks.
Okay, Nicole Marjanovic, 330 Waverly Circle, Daytona Beach, 32118.
Okay. All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Stenson, and then, what? Oh, I'm sorry, he's sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll hear from Mr. Stenson.
Okay, since the last hearing, I've been in contact with Miss Nicole. I can't do that last name.
Don't worry.
We're still working on trying to get this permit finalized. There's still some work that needs to be done on this wall, but there has been some issues. The gentleman doing the work, he, for some reason, doesn't have the ability to have this permit signed off on. We've been in contact with Ms. Nicole and the building department, and they're still trying to work through this. I'd like to amend this case to the February cutoff and see if we can get some finalization on this.
What are the issues with the permit?
It has to be finalized.
Oh, it's done, but it has to be final?
Correct. So he needs to call the building department to come out to do the inspection and sign off on the permit.
Okay. Comments from the board?
Can Ms. Nicole call and have them the final? Or does the contractor that did the work have to do it?
Well, after she finishes here, I'm going to send her downstairs to see if she can get that done without him.
So she can do it. Okay, well, would you like to tell us anything?
No, I just came back from vacation from France to see my brother. And I didn't take care of it because I was gone for 3 weeks. And I was supposing today to have a surgery, but the doctor said, no, I cannot have it. Then I'm going to take care of it. Today or tomorrow, I'm going to take care of it. I want to have that situation be done and over with. And I don't want to see, I like you, all of you, but I don't want to see you anymore.
Okay, that would be good. We'd like that too.
Yeah.
So what is your recommendation, Mr. Stenson?
I'd like to amend that to the February cutoff.
Okay.
Is there anything? What about the barbecue? Nothing?
No barbecue.
I'd like to make a motion,
Because
in KCB 06-22-138, that we adopt the inspector's recommendation to amend this case to the next cutoff date.
Okay, which is 2/1/2023. All right. Mr. Gonzalez has made a motion. Second? Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
Okay.
And a happy and healthy New Year to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Do you want that list?
Case
You have in your office now.
25, now,
Okay, because I want to show you the paper.
That was moved.
Okay. Thank you so much.
it was moved to April?
Okay.
Wait, time.
All right.
What are we doing? I'm sorry, I of course forgot what we said we were doing. It shouldn't be on this?
There was your order was that it be heard in February, your previous order,
Okay.
and it was inadvertently scheduled for today.
Okay, inadvertently scheduled for today, so it will be in February. Do we need to do anything procedurally? Just, okay, just an error. All right. Case 26, CEB 08-22-191, Stephen Weaver and Donnella Weaver. Well, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, attorney, and missed you last month, Madam Chairman.
Okay, you're an attorney?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Would you state your name and address for the record and be sworn in?
My name is Stephen M. Weaver Sr. My address is 1157 Bel Air Drive, Daytona Beach, 32118.
Okay.
Can you raise your right hand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from Mr. Stenson and then give you a chance to speak. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson, please.
Yes, since the last hearing, I have had contact with Mr. Weaver. I performed multiple inspections on the property, last one being yesterday afternoon. Since then, the items that are remaining that needs to be addressed are painting of the unfinished, well, some more painting needs to be done.
Okay.
He has just managed to correct a parking issue. And I have a question into the building department about the stairs. They have been installed. The permit has been final. But I still have some questions because according to the code, if you have more than 4 steps, you're supposed to have handrails on those. But like I said, the permit was final, so I just have a simple question in for the building department. I'd like to amend this to the February cutoff, so I can get that little last piece of
That's the
information
only
cleared up.
thing then is remaining is your question?
No.
And the some painting?
Painting, correct.
And what about the door? What door?
The door has been replaced.
Okay.
It was a screen door.
Oh, okay.
Why would they finalize it if it needs?
That's why I'm asking the question.
I mean, I've always heard that a handrail has to be there for at least when you have more than 3 steps.
Correct.
That's what I've heard. So that's why I don't understand why they finalized it without the handrail.
Right, it was, in fact, Mr. Jones just brought it to my attention. We had discussion about that yesterday.
Is that because there was never a handrail there?
That's correct.
I don't have that answer. That's why I'm
Okay,
gonna.
so you're going to find that answer out, and that's why you want the February cutoff. All right, Mr. Weaver, do you live there?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
good,
I
okay.
walked by his house many times and I never even noticed.
Right.
The meeting minutes and the board members, Mr. Stenson's memory and his video camera will confirm that last summer when he cited me for a little bit of painting, it was for one piece of trim over my front door. I did it back last summer. That piece of trim got tore off in the end. I put it back up and I painted it again. And we got excited and started painting the whole house. And unfortunately, well, not fortunately for me, I believe there's no basis and there's nothing in the charging documents that requires me to complete the painting of my entire house as part of this document. My permit on my stairs is closed. We feel we're in compliance. I've missed so many days of work coming here. And if something comes back up where the building department wants me to put a rail on, it's a separate matter. My compliance with the stairs permit, I turned in a set of plans. Turned in a set of plans. I went through a plan review process. My stairs were approved. They're bigger and better and smoother and straighter and safer than the ones that were there before. And you can't parlay painting one piece of trim into telling a homeowner that there's a couple little areas on your painted house that aren't quite done yet because it's been raining. So I'm in compliance, and I know I am. And I'd like this ended so I don't have to come back. I don't want it going to the next meeting. And I've lost a lot of sleep over this. I've hired people to help me, and I think the magistrate and the city and the attorney will confirm you can't parlay telling me to paint one piece of trim into telling me there's unpainted areas because I'm painting my whole house. So that's my position.
Is there a reason you're not painting the rest of the house?
It's almost done. It's almost done.
Okay.
There's one area that I don't have a ladder long enough, and I have pictures showing that one little 3-foot by 2-foot area on the front of the house that Mr. Stenson may be referencing is now done. Did it this morning. But you don't have any basis to bring that into this hearing. There is none. I was cited in Mr. Stenson's his video cam, and the meeting minutes will reflect I was cited for one piece of trim not being painted. And it doesn't say paint your whole house. That piece of trim right there in the front right, above the door there, that's the one he asked me to. And that area right there, I can show, that's the only area. And there was a minor.
Is that brick? That's not brick. What is that? Just cement right there?
Yeah, and I have a picture on my phone showing that that was painted this morning. And that's the only area.
And that's the only other area that needed to be
Ask Mr.
painted?
Stenson.
I will.
And that wasn't part of the complaint against me at all. It was that piece
Well,
of
the
trim on the
complaint
top.
says unpainted surfaces. so
Right, but these are, as it was described in a previous meeting by others, these are charging documents, and the specifics that were relayed to me about what I needed to paint to come into compliance were that top piece of trim, which I did. And then I took it on myself to paint the whole house, and that's not subject to this court today, as far as I'm concerned.
Go ahead.
Can we find him in compliance since they finalized the permit on the steps? And go ahead, find him in compliance for today. Once Mr. Stenson gets his answer from the building department, if he was, they shouldn't have finalized it if he needed a rail. So it really falls back on that department.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Stenson can come back and
I could.
Well, whether or not they should have or should not have finalized it is not something that we get to determine. Mr. Stenson can ask about it, Mr. Jones can ask about it, but that's really not, I mean,
Per the, Madam Chair, per the violation, the stairs have been redone and they have been finalized. Whether the building department is going to require a railing, we can deal with that as a separate issue going forward instead of tying it with this case.
And I may very well build in some decorative planters up each side to serve as my rails. I have big plans. It's fair for me to point out that I need roof repairs, and yet I've spent $6,000 on these front stairs that lead to nowhere because there is no city sidewalk, as opposed to getting up there and be able to focus on my roof, just so I can be in compliance in relating to these matters. And I'm 60 and I work. I drive 300 miles every day to work back because I'm a builder in other counties, and I don't need this over my head for another month. I'm in compliance. I know I am. That little bit of paint right there is done, but it's not subject to the jurisdiction today. I'm so
what
sorry to
else
tell.
needs to be painted if you painted your whole house?
Nothing. He's got pictures of the whole house. I'm planning to paint that mailbox support there, and that's on me. And the rest of the house is painted. All that's new paint that's tan on the
Okay,
brick.
yeah, okay.
And there's a cut in at the bottom where it rained, and I got to scrape it back. But I don't want to come back about painting that wasn't on my original complaint. And I'd ask you to ask the city attorney or the magistrate if I'm right.
I agree with you, and I would appreciate it if you'd weigh in on that. It's not us to make a legal decision.
It starts with factual questions. No one's asked the inspector what he has to say regarding that, so I'd like to know the inspector.
Okay, all right.
And then answer.
Then I probably would want the advice of your counsel, but we'll start with the inspector.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
The parking in the yard violation has been corrected.
Okay,
The damaged stairs has been corrected.
Okay.
Because there's been permits, the permits have been inspected.
and final.
And final.
Okay,
It clearly says unpainted surfaces. That means all surfaces. It doesn't mean a little piece of trim. It doesn't mean a frame here or there. It means surfaces. That means the exterior surfaces that require to be painted need to be painted. As of yesterday afternoon, that particular section was not painted.
okay.
Do I need to subpoena his
Not yet,
video
not,
camera record?
wait, hold on. Let's let
Well-
Mr. Stenson have,
The missing door
Yeah.
has been replaced. It's been corrected.
okay,
And the broken window has been repaired. So that one has been corrected. If he is saying that this small section has been painted this morning, then I would need the opportunity to go out there to verify that.
Well, he says he has a picture of it.
Unfortunately, I need to personally verify
he
that.
has to go out there.
Is that the only remaining unpainted surface that you're aware of?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Was that part of your original notice violation and remedy?
Yes, sir.
I respectfully disagree, and his video camera, when he walked the property with me, said, paint that piece of trim up there, because it wasn't
Okay,
painted.
all right, okay.
And
All right, we have one little issue, okay, go ahead, Ms. Roby, and then
I
I'm
have
gonna.
one more question.
Okay,
If we go with the amend to February 1, and he comes out there today or tomorrow, or even next Monday, you won't have to come back because he'll put you in compliance.
I understand. It's a little bit of abuse of the procedure as far as I'm concerned. I know for a fact that he told me one piece of trim, and I got better things to do than to subpoena his video camera record, but I also got better things to do than come back in February. And I'm upset about
You won't have
it.
to come back, as once he goes out and checks and sees, he'll put you in compliance.
And I'd like to point out that when he found me in violation on the parking ordinance, didn't provide me any direction, wasn't looking to help me solve the problem. And I have pictures from his file of a vehicle that was parked legally, that he told me was not legally parked. And it's been a real awkward and under-communicating, a little bit of obfuscation, and I'm not happy, and I don't want to be here in February. But if he needs to go out and get a picture of my 3 by 3
So,
square
mi-
foot
m- what,
painted area, go
I
ahead.
believe that what Ms. Roby just explained to you is procedurally what will happen. If Mr. Stenson goes out there today and verifies, which he has to do, that's part of what he has to do, is to personally see it, the picture of it.
I understand.
Okay.
I really know I'm not going to win, but I decided I've had enough. And
Okay, and we get that, but we're trying to dispose of the case rather than to make it go any longer. And the best way to do that would be to give you an extension until February. We're asking Mr. Stenson to go out there today and verify that that is in fact painted.
That one area.
And that's, then you will be put in compliance, and that will be the end of this case.
I understand.
Of this case.
And I'm really okay with that, but I'm so frustrated that an area
I
that
get
wasn't
it.
originally
Okay.
cited is now parlayed on, and I went to great length in the meeting, you weren't here, to say, I can't have this being like
Okay.
a blank
All right.
checkbook to keep
Okay.
messing with me
All right.
for
All right.
months and months.
Okay.
And they do it to others, but you
Okay,
can't
all
not do
right.
it to me.
Well, this is not any, we're trying to,
We're trying to find resolution.
So I'm.
yeah, we're trying to, that's right.
I'm in
thank you.
agreement to let it roll if the area in question is just the one little thing on the front of my house.
All
It
right,
goes
let
out-
me ask Mr. Stenson. Is that, will you, if you go out there today or tomorrow and you find that's the surface that you were talking about painted, will you put this into compliance? Because you said the parking in the yard's been fixed, the stairs have been fixed, the missing door is fixed, the broken window is fixed.
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right, so I think we've heard,
I just had to get it off my chest.
okay, all right, so we've given you time. We've given you time to do that.
I'm just waiting for the next round.
Well, okay,
Well, let's resolve this first.
yeah, let's get this done. One step at a time. All right, so the chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order, because all this is on record. You understand that? Everything that's been said here.
Trust me.
By anyone is part of public record.
understand, and that's
Okay,
why I
well, not
thought-
just saying you, but everybody,
I
me,
thought I could have
everybody.
relied on
Right. Right,
the
I'm just
truth
telling
and
you.
that video camera where he told me it
Well,
was just that one
okay,
piece
all
of
right,
trim that I
okay,
painted
so,
3
all right.
times, but apparently I
Okay,
can't.
that's it. The chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 2/1 to come into compliance and be returned to a meeting, subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Ms. Marsh, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
We don't intend to return, but you set up to 1,000 instead of to 10,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, up to 10,000. All right, so amended up to 10,000.
$1,000 a day.
No,
Thousand-
no, you were right. It was up.
Oh, okay.
I got mixed up in my
Oh,
mind.
okay. All right.
Everything's fine.
Okay, everything's fine. So,
I'm not starting new news.
Right, and your building code has so many
Okay.
diagrams to help people.
stop. The case has
The
been
code does.
heard and voted on. Thank you. Okay. Case number 27, CEB 11-22-256, Roy Doveberg.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will you state your name, please, for the record?
Noah Dovberg,
Can you spell your last name?
Dovberg,
And you are?
son of Roy Dovberg.
Okay, and the other gentleman is that?
Oh, yes.
Mr.
Mark Reed, 819 East Colonial Circle,
And Reed is R-E-E-D?
REED.
And are you going to testify?
I'm here for moral support and to complain about having to follow the last act.
Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. Outside storage, damaged driveway. All right, there are 2 violations. All right, we will hear from Mr. Stenson, and then we'll give you an opportunity to speak. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
Well, since the last hearing, I've been in contact with Mr. Dougberg's son. I've actually been in contact with Mr. Dougberg. He is,
And also Mr. Dovberg?
yes,
Okay, Roy, okay.
yes. He is no longer living in the house. His son will fill you in on that. He's in hospice. However, since the son has come on property, there has been quite the turnaround. My last inspection there was yesterday, and it's day and night. The city would like to amend this case to the next cutoff to allow him to finish what he's started.
So, I'm sorry, your father is now in hospice? Okay.
He is in hospice. I would like to correct, he is in home hospice, so he is currently still living at the house.
Okay,
So
that's
he's
fine.
kind of watching all the,
Right.
everything, and
Okay.
definitely a change. Yes. I don't know if you have current pictures as well. but currently-
Yeah, he's scrolling through 'em.
Oh, my apologies. But yes, currently all the exterior cleanup is done. I believe the last thing would be is start doing some driveway repairs. I am not, I have to figure out how that is going to go, but as you will see, there's a lot of change.
Let me look at these pictures. Wow. There has been a lot of cleanup, hasn't there?
Quite a bit, quite a bit.
Okay, will they need a permit to do that? I'm just asking, you may need to talk to Mr. Stenson to see if you need a permit.
He may need a permit.
He may need a permit. So you talk to Mr. Stenson about that. We can't advise you what you need to do.
Of course.
Okay?
Of course.
But he can find that out for you, or you can go to the city or whatever.
Of course, of course.
Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Mr. Stinson has been really helpful.
Good.
And making sure that we were here today to avoid possible fines in the future. And because we have missed a second notice. All notice Noah had was when he went to the house to check on his dad, he found the original citation from back in July. Without Mr. Stinson's help, we would not be here today. This
Okay.
whole thing would be looking bad.
Right, right. Okay, so
It's just
we,
personalities most of the time.
I wasn't gonna compliment him too much, but
okay.
Yeah, don't pat him on the back. We'll never get it back down.
Yeah.
All right, so we're looking for a,
I think an extension is what we're asking for. And
so what, is February realistic? February 1st, or do you want to
Now,
do
not
March?
considering the size of the driveway, we should probably go to March.
Okay,
And I'm asking that based on looking at how much work has been done.
Right.
And moving forward.
right.
No, he's definitely made a lot of progress in
All
a
right,
short
that's
amount of
good to
time.
hear.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming, okay? Any other comments? All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order now in compliance and allow respondent until 3/1/2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Madam
Okay.
Chairman, you did not recognize Mark of the Beach, who used to be on the same
I do know.
station
I
with
know.
you.
Yes. I do know who he is.
Used to be on the radio on Big John's.
Yeah.
We're all alumni.
Right, that's right, all alumni of Big Show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, case 28 CEB 11-22-248. Alan and Deborah Bukowski. Okay, Mr. Stenson.
Well, since the last hearing, I have had owner contact. In fact, the last contact was yesterday. Unfortunately, there has been no progress. There has been a permit obtained to correct this wall, but there has been no work done on it. The owner himself just finished having surgery. I've been conversating with his wife. She says that they're going to get started as soon as he gets back up on his feet. However, this case has been going on since August of last year. I'd like to ask for $100 per day to be capped at $10,000.
When did they get the permit?
Compliance. Work. And I don't have that exact date, but it has been a couple of months since they've had the permit.
And so you're testifying that the person that's going to do the work, which is the owner of the house, has been laid up?
That is what I was advised of
Basically.
yesterday, yes.
This started in August, and then there are all the hurricane. I don't know.
This has been in this state for longer than that case has started. But like I said, there's been no movement on the actual physical work on the property.
Would you be amenable to a lesser amount on the fine?
I would be agreeable to 50, but I wouldn't go any lower than that.
But how long has he been in the hospital?
It was a short stint. It was an operation, but according to his wife, the recovery is going to take quite a while.
Is he elderly?
My age, a little bit older, I guess.
No comment.
That's the safest answer I got.
Yeah, you're right.
I just,
Yeah, Madam Chair, I mean, with the new information that Inspector Stenson just got yesterday, I think we would allow this to amend to the next cutoff so he can meet with the owner and get some sort of schedule. This wall, he has just slowly built up like that all by himself without any permits, and that's why he was cited for work without permits.
but are the cinder blocks
They're just,
cemented in, or they're just stacked there?
They're just stacked.
Okay. 'Cause
So is it a safety issue as well? I mean,
it could be, yes. I believe it could be.
all right, well, it seems, I don't know, what's everybody think?
Well, I think it is a safety hazard because it's right there on the sidewalk.
Right.
You know, and like Ms. Marsh said, next to school, so all the kids gotta do is reach over and.
Yeah,
you know,
school's right there.
Slap things as they walk by or whatever, they could pull it down on themselves. So I understand, but I understand him having surgery and can't do it, but maybe he could hire somebody till he's able to, you know?
His wife seems to think that she's in compliance because they got the permit. I mean, I've explained to her,
well.
I've explained to her
Explain that to
that the
her.
work needs to be done.
Right, you can
And,
explain that to her.
That's why I was suggest, maybe we could do like a $25 a day fine to give them the little nudge that, you know, we are gonna fine you because it's an unsafe area. And maybe he will,
I would be amenable to a $50.
50,
Yeah, that's his recommendation.
yeah.
That is, yeah.
I'm just like Ms. Marsh said, I'm just worried about a kid going by, you know how they, you know, they don't care about anybody's property to begin with.
You got that?
What do you think, Mr. Harrington? Do you have anything to say?
Yes, he does.
I think we can go with the officer's recommendation, but at a lower fine. We need to do something, and
Yeah, get the
can
attention.
always apply for, you know, a lien review.
Okay, true.
I'll make a motion that we, on case,
I mean, you don't know, he just got out of surgery, he's doing it himself, and you don't know if it's gonna pass the,
But he built the wall himself without a permit.
right, you don't know if it's gonna pass.
Right.
The final inspection, because he's doing it himself.
and it's not concreted in place, so.
But it is a safety hazard.
Yeah.
Somebody with a skateboard.
Okay, so we need, my opinion is that we need to get his attention.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so are you going to make a
Yeah, I'll
motion?
make a motion on case, CEB 11-22-248 to, be fined $50 a day till coming into compliance starting today.
Okay.
Up to
10,000.
10,000.
Okay. Ms. Roby's made a motion. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Case number 29, CEB 10-22-236, William Thomas King. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
Since the last hearing, I have had no communications with this property owner. However, they went ahead and they have removed the damaged fencing and installed brand-new vinyl fencing. And they did this without a permit.
No permit. So they took out the damaged fencing, and where is the new, I don't see any fence.
Wherever you see the
That white?
wherever, it's on both sides. Both sides
Oh,
of the
okay,
house.
both white. So they put that up
Correct.
without a permit,
And it goes all the way back, yes,
and it goes to the backyard.
yes.
Okay?
It used to be a regular wooden privacy fence that was dilapidated, and that's what he was cited for. So
Have you had any contact with them at all?
No contact.
I've had one phone call from the actual owner, and they said, "Oh, we'll take care of it."
So here's another one of those things. The damaged fencing's done,
Correct.
so he's in compliance as far as that goes.
So can we
So
find?
now we're finding him for a new fence.
Um,
Is that a case?
I don't know.
Get them for a new case on the,
Um,
without a permit.
I guess you could do that, but I mean, I would leave that to your.
Okay.
Yeah, in the past, we've always stated you can't correct a violation by making a new violation. If you've got a broken window, you can't replace it without a permit. You've in essence corrected the violation by making a violation, which is what's happened here. The violation was the damaged fence.
Okay.
So he corrected it by putting up a new fence without a permit.
And just clear language, that's what he didn't remedy the violation. The violation is that he had a damaged fence, and a remedy option is not to do something that's contrary to code. So by putting
Right,
up a fence,
that's what, yeah, you don't correct a violation by making a new violation.
But did he, how long, I mean, we probably don't know how long the old fencing was down. Was it down for a week and then he put it up, or did he take it down and put it up the same day?
Well, he had other violations on his property besides the fencing. He had landscaping issues. So the last time we revisited the case, well, he thought that the landscaping was done and the fencing was done. The landscaping had been addressed, but the fencing was still there, and I told him that, and this was his remedy.
And he has an opportunity to be heard for whatever reason he's not present.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, can we do another, like, get his attention, $50 fine again to get him to at least
What
contact
is
you?
your recommendation?
My recommendation was 100, but
And we need to inform him that in order to correct the violation, he has to get a permit for
for his new fence now. Correct.
Okay.
So we need to make that clear
Absolutely.
when we
Send him his letter.
when we send him his letter. That the way he's gonna correct it, otherwise the fine will just go out forever.
Right.
But no, I'm in agreement with the
I mean,
50.
that'll be part of the order.
I'll make another motion on case, CEB 10-22-236 to be fined $50 a day on his case
fine,
Help me, Luigi.
okay, impose a fine of $50 a day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the amount of $10,000.
$10,000, but the new fence does not make,
We don't put that in
You
there.
don't need that.
That we don't need to put that in.
okay.
Yeah, we're addressing the violation that we have.
Correct. So we have a motion from Ms. Roby. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Gonzalez. I'm trying to figure, I need to talk about this a little bit. When was I still have, I can still ask questions, right? Now? Okay, because we haven't voted. When was the last time you spoke to him?
The last time I actually spoke with him
Yeah,
was,
or emailed or anything else?
I couldn't give you the exact
Okay.
communication date. However, I have been in contact with him since the last hearing that we had.
Oh, since the last hearing you have been, okay.
And the fence was up and you told him?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
And you told him that he permit and he's made no effort
No,
to
I'm
do
sorry.
that?
I haven't, the new fence came after the last hearing. So I didn't see the
You
new
have
fence
not.
after the conversation. But for the reinspection prior to this hearing, this new fence was there.
It was there.
And, okay, so he's aware that he was supposed to be here today.
He is aware of the case, he's
Right.
aware
I
of the
mean,
dates, yes.
everything was noticed the right way.
So we can just hope that he's gonna call Mr. Stinson once he gets his letter for the fine.
And I'll be calling him. I'll be reaching out to him as well.
Okay, then that's, the motion's
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Are there any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, case number 30, CEB 10-22-242. Dragos Estate?
That property is in compliance as of yesterday.
Oh, in compliance. All right.
She's here.
It's in compliance. I'm sorry you didn't know that. So you sat here the whole time?
We learned a lot.
We learned a lot.
All right, all right. Thank you for,
so much.
thank you anyway
ma'am.
for coming.
And I wanted to know that he made a great effort
Good.
and he take a great pride on keeping our place.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for coming. Thank you for fixing it. Okay. All right, now we'll move on to our new cases. Now, I'm going to tell you, in these new cases, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
When we do new cases, we're just here to see whether you're in compliance or not in compliance. It's pretty straightforward. The code officer will show us pictures of what he considers to be not in compliance. We generally will then give you, you can speak if you want to. If we find you in non-compliance, you will be given at least another month to come into compliance, depending on circumstances. And then if nothing's happened, I mean, you saw how, then your case becomes an old case. And you see how that works. What happens is, if it's not in compliance, we can impose a fine, we can give you more time, we can ask for progress reports. There are all kinds of things that can happen at that point. Today's really only point is to find you in compliance or not in compliance and to set a date for you to come into compliance, okay? All right. Mr. Harrington isn't here. Do we have a quorum? Yes, Mr. Harrington has left for a minute.
Yeah, there's four of us with you.
But we still have a quorum. Okay.
But can I ask if we can take a 5-minute break?
We can take a 5-minute break? Okay, we'll have a 5-minute break. What time is it right now? 10 of? 5 of? Huh?
10:58.
10:58. Okay, so 5 minutes from now, we'll start again. All right, we're going to start with our new cases. Case 31, CEB 01-23-20, Brett and Jennifer Crawley.
Too much stuff.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
Yes, this case was opened back in this year for work without permits. I don't, if we have the photographs. What we have is they did a front porch where they expanded it, put up columns, added rafters. They did a work in the backyard where they built a wall. They also added a driveway extension. This is a couple more pictures of the front porch. The pictures are coming up in a different order. They did a shower enclosure on one side. You can see the structure there, just past the air conditioner. There's the new porch that they were building. This is the inside of the porch where they put up a wall and rafters, and at one end they put plastic panels. They put off to the left of the driveway, you can see where there's a potted plant. They extended their driveway without a permit. They put all the concrete work here in the backyard without a permit. They did electrical service for that spa that you just saw off to the side. Brought all new electrical service without a permit. And they have a damaged fence. They received the first notice on July 8th, 2022. Compliance was due August 29th, 2022. I've had no contact with the owner. The issues remain. Staff is recommending compliance, non-compliance.
Are they living there, Mark?
Yes, they are.
How could they possibly think they could do all that without?
Who knows? Well, they won't talk to him, you know? I don't know.
And there's
Carol,
also,
go ahead.
no, that's okay.
That's ridiculous. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 2/1/2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Second.
All right, Ms. Roby made a motion. Mr. Harrington, second. Mr. Gonzalez, the second. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed.
Mark, on this, it would go to the
Same
permit
sign.
department and they would probably.
Motion carries.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
They would probably tell him he has to get an engineer for all this.
Oh, yes, a lot of this would require engineering, would require site plan drawings.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of stunning, really. All right. Case number 32, CEB 01- according to the pictures. CEB 01-23-10, Melissa Farrington. Okay.
Good morning, Officer Clegg. My credentials are on file. This is a complaint issued case first notified on June 21st of 2022 with a compliance date of July 31st of 2022. The property was cited for failure to maintain exterior doors, windows, pool screen enclosure, sanitation, outside storage, and outside, the doors of exterior doors by the pool. I made contact with the owner, and on December 15th, we had an inspection. He had squatters in there, and when he got the squatters out, he was still recovering a little bit from the hurricane damage. So I'm working with him. Staff's recommending the non-compliance next cutoff.
I mean, I don't see. So all these things were done before the hurricane.
Right.
This is not new damage.
No.
This is old damage.
No, but the hurricane,
And who's living there now?
he just moved into it back from West Virginia. They moved down and they're redoing the place. That's the owner right
Oh,
there.
that's the owner? Who's Melissa?
He said that was his wife, so I
Okay,
didn't
so
question
it's
it.
just in her name.
Right,
So he's living there now, but there were squatters in there?
right. It took him, that's some of the squatter stuff. It took him about 4 or 5 months, he said, to get him evicted, so.
Okay, Chair will entertain motion to find respondent. Any comments? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to commit to compliance by the next cutoff date 2/1/23 or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Mr. Gonzalez made a motion. Second? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 33, 33, CEB 01-23-12, John Egner.
Yes, ma'am. This is a field-generated case on September 19th of 2022 with a compliance date of October 19th. They were cited for failure to maintain the outside fence, the windows, screen, junk vehicles, faded house paint, and no address attached. I had contact with the owner yesterday. Again, he got some of the fence done. He is working on the project, and city's recommending non-compliance next cutoff.
Let me look at these pictures. So is he going to need new windows as well? Or
He's
just
redoing
glass?
them. It looks like glass.
Okay. Are the junk vehicles gone yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's the only thing really
Okay.
junk.
And you did have contact with him, and he says he can get all this done?
By next cutoff. He's thinking this week, but I doubt that.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, February 1st, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Motion, Ms. Roby, second? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, case 34, CB 01-23-13, Elnora S. Jackson.
Yes, ma'am. This is a police complaint, first notified September 2nd of 2022 with a compliance date of October 6th of 2022. They were cited for failure to maintain the interior ceiling, interior doors, they had outside storage, junk vehicles, failure to maintain lawn, outside electrical system hazard, outside door and screens need to be replaced. We had contact with the daughter who was on the scene. She stated she would get some work done. Nothing's been done. Staff's recommending non-compliance next cutoff.
They're also, I mean, it looks like they're probably going to need permits as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody's living in there?
Not really. We were talking to the daughter. There was involved, like I said, a police complaint issued, but she was there for the issue, and she said she wasn't living there. It was her mom's house, so it's unoccupied.
Okay. Any questions or comments anymore? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date. Be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second? Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case 35 was in compliance. Case 36, CEB 01-23-01, R. Lawrence Vandenberg. Okay. Mr. Stinson.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said your name. I was waiting for you to start talking. Okay, go ahead.
Good,
Hi.
good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector. My qualifications are on file. This case was opened by staff for the unpermitted garage conversion. hearing. I have had no contact with this property owner. However, the permits for this garage conversion are on hold. Compliance was due on 21 September of last year. Multiple re-inspections, the last one being yesterday. The permit still has not yet been approved. So we're asking for non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Okay.
Question,
Yes,
conversion to what?
That was my question too, yeah.
it was a garage. They converted it to a living space, in-law.
Ah,
With the intention to rent it?
Oh, it's occupied.
Oh,
It's occupied right now.
and so they need a permit to do that. It doesn't mean
That's
they
correct.
can't do it. That just means they need a permit.
Yes.
Okay. And they're not talking to you?
They haven't talked to me, but they have moved forward with attempting to get the permit. And the permit's going through the process, but it's still on hold.
Okay, all right. Chair will entertain any other comments? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance and respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? Ms. Roby makes the motion. Second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Case number 37, CEB 01-23-02, Robert Lawler and Mary K. Drew. Good morning. Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Mary Drew, 400 Manhattan Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32118.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth? I'm sorry. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to hear from Mr. Stenson, and then I'll give you a chance to respond. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson.
Okay, this case was also opened by staff. They were cited for parking in yards, missing soffits, lack of a business license. Since then, the parking issue has been corrected. The address numbers have been corrected. The owner has been in contact with me, and she has emailed me her paperwork. She's on a very long waiting list to get the soffits replaced. And there is some paperwork, she could probably explain it better than I can, about what the city is and isn't permitting at that location when it comes to the business. And I will let her explain that part to you.
Well, if you need a BT for...
I've had them.
She
I
has
do
that.
have them, and I've had them. So it's office only at my house.
Office only at your house.
So the problem would be if it's office only, then the equipment needs to be moved.
So all the equipment, at the time that we were cited, it was on property, just because during COVID, we basically did not work. We are a kayak rental business that we were booked 100% online. So basically, we just had the equipment at the house. I was told by the city that if it fit in my garage, that I could put it in my garage. That's what I was told when I was given my city license. I carry my county license, my city license, all of that I do keep in order. So I kind of don't understand why I'm here.
Did you put your kayaks in the garage?
I put them back in storage. My storage where I used to have it on Bellevue flooded during both hurricanes. So they were in my garage. We've moved them back and forth from storage back and forth while they're doing still repairs and stuff at the Bellevue where I store my
These people
kayaks.
tell you that this, that, and the other thing's okay. Did they give you any written document
No.
saying that?
They asked me, will everything fit in your garage? And I told them yes, and they said, then put them in there. But that was like right around when we were having the hurricanes and stuff. The city license, I had a hard time reinstating because the city itself had not put my fees on for the last 2 years. You guys were closed. I had to come in person, got it straightened up, and then again this year they did the same thing, did not impose my fees. I had to come back in person. So, I mean, I've always had my business license. I've always had my county license. We're actually on the City of Daytona's website of things to do in Daytona.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little confused.
Customers come to your house to
No.
fill out paper?
No, everything is set through a reservation and we meet people at the water. We don't just like set up and say, hey, here's kayak rentals today. Everything has to be done through a reservation.
I have a question. When you say them, they told me, who is them and they?
The licensing department.
Permits and licensing.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
I just don't see how they operate in a licensing bureau by not having any written documents.
I have my license. I mean, that's all I have. I have my license in my county, I have my
License, do
city,
you have that
city,
at your
yes.
residence?
And I have a county license as well.
And they're valid time periods?
Oh, yes, ma'am. They're both.
So why you're cited for lack of BT?
I don't understand why Mr. Stenson didn't do that research. I've had.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I've had them for years.
I
He
know.
he never asked me for them until I got the non-compliance.
Okay,
And then
well,
I
we're gonna-
told the
we'll
gen-
fi-
And
we'll
I told him
figure-
that I did, and he gave me his email address, but
Okay.
it was an incorrect email address.
Okay.
So it kept getting returned to me until I
Okay.
finally did reach Mr. Stenson, and I
Okay,
got the
okay.
email to him.
All right, we're gonna work this out. Go ahead.
As far as the softening, I signed a contract last July. The 2 storms happened. I was put on a back wait list because
They
of
don't
all the
like to
roofs that
do-
are much more important.
Right,
The
they don't
roofs-
like to do little jobs. I get it.
Exactly.
Right.
He's short on staff, and the roofs are more important than softening right now. I actually have a contract that expires tomorrow. I've heard nothing from him. So honestly, he told me it probably would not be until March that he could get to me for the softening.
Okay. All right, Mr. Stenson. Why, if there is a BT for the business that is valid and up to date, why is she cited for lack of a BT?
Can I answer that question with a question?
What?
I said, can I answer that question with a question?
Sure. I don't care.
I did hear you say that you had so much trouble getting your BT reinstated with the city.
Yes, but I've had it for years.
Okay.
It's hanging on the wall in my house.
My question is, when was it reinstated by the city?
I finally got it after well, I kept it up to date, but right after, like at the beginning of 2021, it kept telling me I had no fees due. But although I was looking at the paper saying it was expired, it kept telling me no fees due. I had to come in and get it removed, have the fees put on, so I could renew the license, which was done in July of last year.
Okay.
2 days after after you cited me for the first time.
So.
The county license was already standing and in
okay.
good standing.
All right, okay, go ahead.
So, to answer your question, the record showed at the time that the license was expired, and that's why I got cited.
That's what happened.
It was showing it was expired because the fees were not applied.
I get it, but
It
that-
wasn't my fault. It
And
was
it
the
wasn't
city
Mr.
record.
And nor was.
Yes, it was,
Right,
and it was an
wasn't
error
Mr.
in the
And it
computer
wasn't
here.
Mr. Stenson's fault either, because he goes by what he sees.
Correct.
So when he reissued my non-compliance, I already had my business tax license in place though. When I received this letter to come here, it had been in place since July, right after he originally had stated me.
Never mind.
Go ahead,
Um,
Mr. Stenson.
In short, out of all of these issues, unfortunately, the kayaks are still on property.
Those are
And
my
I
personal
know,
kayaks. Those are not work kayaks. Those that you see in that picture
I
are
can't,
my own
I
personal use.
can't agree or dispute that.
And in the city the codes, I am allowed to have personal use kayaks stored behind my house on my property, which is behind
Where are
my
the
house.
kayaks?
Right behind that pole.
This is the corner property.
I live on the
Property
corner
sits on
on
the
a
corner.
dune. So my back southeast corner is this back southwest corner of my house is what you're looking at there. When I originally
There you
bought
go.
that piece of property, that property where those kayaks are was sold to me and had a fence with a big gate around it for additional boat storage, parking. That's what it was. That's what that is. That's a kayak rack with my own personal kayaks on it.
And according to.
And I have 2 trailers that are my kayak business that are fully loaded. That's not those. Those are our
Yeah,
personal
I get it.
kayaks.
Those are your,
If I could, Madam Chairman, I mean, per code with a corner lot, you would end up having 2 front yards.
yeah, I know.
So anything parked on the street, that is,
Right.
what is that, Oleander,
Grandview.
Grandview? Anything facing Grandview or Manhattan is considered the front yard. You would have to be behind the plane of the house to be in the backyard.
That is behind the plane of the house.
It's considered in your front yard because you have a corner lot, unfortunately.
So when I first originally bought that, there was a fence. There's still fence posts in that area.
I see the fence post.
That the fence came down during the storm. That was a fenced-in yard completely. That was sold to me that way with boat and additional parkage.
Can you move those boats?
Can I move them?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but they're on like a metal, like actual kayak rack.
Can you move the rack and the
No,
boat?
it's concreted in. I mean, I can move the kayaks, but the rack itself is concreted in. They've been there for like 7 years. That rack, just like that. And we use them constantly. Like we're going out next week to Blue Springs State Park.
Right.
None of my neighbors, I've talked to all my neighbors, none of them have an issue with it. As far as like the compliance, it's weird because I'm on that corner lot. And
Corner
I'm on a
lots are
dune.
notoriously difficult to
And I'm
deal
on
with.
a dune, so
You
there's not a
have
flat
to-
spot
you
in my
have-
entire yard.
You basically have 2 front yards, and that, I mean, it's very difficult to even adjudicate.
So when I originally bought the
that.
property, that was the understanding with the city that that was fenced in. I mean, I can put the fence back up, it just came down in the storm. The fence posts and everything are still there. But it had a huge 2-sided gate that was for parking and I had a boat parked there for like 3 years. A speedboat, and never.
Well,
It's just since the fencing's come down since the storm that I'm having the issue now.
how is this complaint generated?
Field generated.
Well, I think
Mr.
we-
Stenson, how is this complaint generated?
This came from inside the city, city department.
We need to get back on track. It's either in compliance or not compliance.
You're right.
And they could work it out with the officer on what needs to be done.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the distinction between the kayaks that's in the yard and the kayaks that's in the garage? I mean, is there something that makes one different than another?
So these are just personal kayaks. We don't use affiliate both. Well, personally, the reason we don't use our personal kayaks for our business is because people have used the kayaks. There's a lot of sandbars that have oyster beds and stuff
Right.
on them. So these are our personal kayaks that people cannot destroy.
Right, I get it.
Kayaks are very expensive, so those we keep for our own personal use. There's a couple fishing kayaks there. There's two tandem ocean kayaks.
Do you have markings on your rental, on your business kayaks, or are they?
No.
just like-
No.
So there was
I
no.
think that's what I think you were
No,
trying to get to, Mr.
it doesn't have anything, it doesn't mark Kayak Atlantic Waters or anything on it. Just the 2 vehicles, but not on any of the boats. I have 3 kids, so when everybody's in town, everybody wants to go kayaking. So that's what we do. My family came in last year, everybody wanted to go kayaking from DC, that's what we did. Those are the personal kayaks that we use. And we built that, kayak rack and everything, and it's, like I said, that's been there for almost 7 years. And now all of a
I
sudden it's
have a
become an issue, and I'm just
Okay.
confused.
All right.
I have a question about
ahead, Mr.
all this
Riggio.
consideration of the kayaks. Was the respondent in this matter cited for the kayaks?
Good question.
No.
I mean, part of the citation is the business tax license.
Right.
But as far as determination of compliance, that should be based on what she's been cited for,
Right.
not on something that arises in the course
Okay.
of this presentation. Now, she may be cited at a later date for them, but at this presentation or in this hearing, we should be limited to the things that are listed in the notice.
Yeah, all right, I thank you very much, and I agree with that, and thank you for bringing it up. So right now, the soffit work will be, you think that you'll be done in March? Yeah, okay.
Sign the contract last July and put a deposit on
And
it.
as far as you know, the BT is up to date. That can be verified, right, Mr. Jones?
I have them right
Yes.
here.
Okay. Is the BT verified?
I don't have it verified.
I emailed them to Mr. Stenson.
Stop.
It's easy.
When I'm speaking to somebody else, please don't answer for them. But the BT problem can be resolved, is that right, Mr. Stenson?
Yes.
If it's up to date and the BT can be produced, that won't be an issue. The
Not at
only
all.
issue then left would be the lack of soffits. And you can't get a date to have those done until March, right? Okay. So, and there's nothing about the kayaks in here anywhere. All right. So let's just move on with this. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance, soffits, and order the respondent to come into compliance by March 1st, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Could you give me till April 1st?
Because you think he's coming in March.
Yes, that's what he told me.
I will amend my motion, or I will amend my proposed motion to move it to 4/5/23.
Thank you.
The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent into compliance by 4/5/23 or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is such a motion?
So,
Mr. Harrington, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Everything should be fine.
Thank you.
We were able to confirm that the BT is
Okay, BT is current. Okay.
Let's think.
That takes care of that, too, so we're just looking at the soffits. Okay. A little harder than it should have been, I guess. Thank you for getting it back on track, Mr. Riggio. All right, case 38, CB 01-23-05, Ronald Pavlover Estate. Anyone here for that? Okay.
No, this was a complaint-driven case for unmaintained landscaping. First notice was received or posted on the property on 23 August 22. There's been no contact with this property owner. September 2022. Multiple re-inspections, the last one being yesterday. Property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for non-compliance, and that's cut off.
Okay, chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date 2/1/23 or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
so moved.
Mr. Harrington motion, second. Second, Ms. Ruby, all in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 39, CEB 01-23-07, Jean-Pierre and Nicole Lafort.
They're here.
And they are present. Good morning.
Good morning, hi.
State your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
Nicole Lafort, 334 Nautilus Avenue, Daytona Beach, 32118.
Okay, we're going to hear from Mr. Stenson. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Will you raise your hand? No. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, so this was a complaint-driven case for outside storage and a small RV parking in the yard. First notice was received on 24 September 2022. I have had contact with this property owner. The compliance date was 13 October 2022. Multiple re-inspections, the last one being yesterday. The property remains in non-compliance. I have had a discussion with this property owner, and this small trailer, it's so small that, and there's no room for it to go behind the front line, the front wall of the property. So her only solution or resolution would be to get a variance from the city to allow it to stay there. I've
How
told her
small is it?
It's about
it's
10 feet.
Wait, I'm talking to Mr. Stenson. How small is it?
it's maybe half the size of a standard RV. maybe half the size, not even. So I would say 10 by 6.
That's it right there?
Yes, that's it right there. 10 by 6, 10 by 7.
And there's no other place for it on the property. You know, okay, go ahead, finish what you were saying, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, her only solution for this is to get a variance from the city
Okay.
or removal.
What do you think? My only question is if it was complaint driven, somebody's probably complaining about it being there, and then if you do the variance, you're gonna have to get all your neighbors to sign off on it before they'll approve it.
It is really small. It's a 1965 Shasta. It's a vintage trailer. We have people compliment it all the time, so I'm not sure who complained about it. Our neighbor across the street also has a trailer in his driveway, so nothing. So, I mean, I'm gonna seek the variance because unfortunately, I don't have a garage. There's no way to get behind the house, and it's too narrow on the others to bring it into the back. And it's super cute, actually, and it matches the house.
How long have you had the trailer there?
It's been actually there since 2019. I've owned this house for 22 years in Daytona. I've never had a code issue before, but this trailer's actually been there since 2019. I mean, we take it out a couple times a year. You know, we're taking it out next month for South Florida for camping, but it's just a kind of iconic history.
And my other question, John, is, I know variances take quite a lot of time.
They could be. I say the next cutoff, that way she can at least ask the question if she's going to be able to get this variance. She should be able to get that answer relatively quick.
Yeah. Also, what about, is the landscaping fixed?
Yes.
Okay.
And the car park, you're not parking in the yard anymore, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was an issue. I mean, because everybody parks on that nature strip that's, you know, like we're on the other side of the sidewalk. It seemed to us it was safer to bring it into the yard because it's a pretty narrow street. It would be less likely if someone, you know, but he explained that it's okay on the nature strip, it's not okay in the yard, so we won't do it anymore.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 2/1/23, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case 40, thank you, hon. CEB 01-23-08, Jackie Thomas and Nancy Tafoya. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Stenson.
I am sorry. Yep.
Case 40,
What's this, 401 Manhattan?
Euclid,
Euclid.
269. Jackie Thomas and Nancy Tafoya.
All right, give me a chance to get back together. Why is this not on? Oh, that's in compliance, 12/19/22.
Okay, that was simple. Okay. Okay. Case number 41, CEB 01-23-09, Spencer David Spearin. Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name and address for the record, please.
David Spearin, 2 Highwood Ridge Trail, Ormond Beach.
Ormond, okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Stenson.
Okay, this is a complaint-driven case for unpermitted renovations, parking in the yard, damaged roof. First notice was delivered, posted on the property on 5 October 22. I've had face-to-face contact with this property owner on more than one occasion. The compliance date was 17 October 2022. After multiple re-inspections, the last one being yesterday, property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for non-compliance and compliance by the next cutoff.
No permits yet?
No, sir.
Permits?
The only permit on file for this property is for the garage doors, and that permit has not yet been finalized.
All right, so the garage doors were permitted and they need to be finalized, right?
Yes, that's
But
not,
we need other permits to do other work.
yes,
Have they been applied for?
no.
So really, nothing, how about the roof damage? Has that been fixed?
No.
I'll be with you in 1 second. Okay, what would you like to tell us, Mr. Spearman?
Well, first of all, I'm not the owner.
You're not the owner. What's your relationship to the owner?
I have the power of attorney.
And you have permission?
Power of attorney, yes.
So you have
For
permission?
that property.
Okay, good, glad you told me that.
All right.
What is your name?
David Spearman,
And who is Spencer David Spearman?
the one I have the power of attorney for.
Is he your dad?
I'm the dad.
But
Come
this
on.
is confusing.
No, I
So,
mean-
It
I
is?
mean, we're just trying to figure out the relationship between you
Father.
with the same name and
Father.
father. Fine.
Father. I am the father.
That's fine. Okay, good. Okay, go ahead. What would you like to add? Does Spencer David Spearman live at this property?
Does not.
He does not.
Does not.
Does anyone?
No, not at this time.
So the property's vacant.
Property is sold last year.
You're not even the owner of the property?
I have the power of attorney to speak for my son Spencer.
He doesn't own the property anymore?
No, sold last year.
When last year?
29th of December.
Has it been recorded yet? Do
Yes.
you know? I'm going to let Mr. Stenson tell us what's going on.
Well, I'd like to ask a
Now,
question
just wait.
before we get there, please.
We're going to follow our protocol. I already went out of order and I shouldn't have done it. I'm
Okay.
sorry. But I was trying to ascertain how you were
Okay.
related with the same name to that person and, okay. So, Mr. Stenson, please go ahead.
Yes, as I stated, this is a complaint-driven case. The initial complaint is for renovating without permits. As you can tell from the photographs, there's plenty of evidence there showing that the renovations are going on. You had the whole side of the property open, being redone. I mean, it's just clear that there's work going on the property that shouldn't be without the permits. Stop work order was also issued. Like I said, I've had multiple conversations with Mr. Spearman.
Which one?
Mr. Spearman
Okay.
here. They weren't very productive conversations. They said I continue to receive complaints about the unpermitted work here, just the general goings on there. We're only here about the permits. As you can tell, clearly there's work going on there without any permits.
Do we?
And,
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, and there's been no application or issuance for any permits. That's basically it.
Do we need to add the new property owner to this complaint?
You know, there was a for sale sign up front. I'm not aware that a sale has actually gone through. I haven't been
Do
advised.
you have any proof of that sale going through?
Public record, ma'am.
It is public record.
Public
Could we
record.
look that up, please? I'm really. Can we
Per
look
the
that?
Volusia County property appraiser, that they're still recording it as the owner being as stated in this case. So they're a little slow sometimes,
Yes,
but if
they
it was
are. If it
recorded
was
in
the end of the
July.
year, I mean-
If it was recorded in July, if that's when.
Recorded 12/29, sir.
12/29?
Of 22?
Correct. Last year.
So you have nothing to do with this property anymore?
I have the power of attorney for the past, for the matter that he's bringing to head.
Mr. Stenson, what's going on there now at that building?
As of right now, it does not appear that any work is ongoing now.
Is anybody living in it?
Well, my last inspection was there yesterday, and the entire property was full of vehicles. Whether or not they lived there or not, I couldn't tell you, but right in front of this gate, vehicles parked, the driveway was full of vehicles, and like I said, the citizens in the area continue to contact me and call me about the ongoings.
All right,
at the
I have
property.
a question for Mr. Jones. Do we need to reissue this with the new owner?
Madam Chair, may I
Oh,
speak to the-
go ahead,
Yes,
please.
The, at least according to the service and the signature, Mr. Spearing apparently signed for this on December 20th. At that time, it appears that it was still, and I just asked Mr. Spearing, I don't know if his father or son, that it was, so at the time it was cited and notice was given to the proper
Correct.
owner. We would need to inquire if there's been an ownership change since then. We'd need to inquire of the person before us to know what that ownership change, and then we could make a determination of,
Okay.
of what we
So we
what we
just-
do going forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be happy to hear from Mr. Spearing.
So.
Go ahead. Well,
sir,
wait a minute.
Are you continuing to, or do you plan to continue to improve this property, or you're through with it? You're just here representing this case?
Well, right now, I'm trying to solve Mr. Stenson's need.
But it's been sold, and after
But
this is
it-
done, you're.
property's been sold, yes, sir.
And you have you no longer have anything to
Property
do
has
with
been
it?
sold.
Then you no longer have anything to do with it.
And the owner of the property?
Is that correct?
Is public record not sufficient?
There is no public record.
Well, there is a public record. Of course there is.
Madam Chair, if I may,
The book and page and everything is right there in public record, property sold 29th of January,
Madam Chair,
29th of December.
I'm sorry, if I may. Mrs. Spearing,
Hmm.
who
We
owns the property? I mean, you're under oath and you're here representing someone on behalf of this property, and who is that?
Public record has a new owner.
Yeah, we have a proceeding, and it's a due
Right.
process proceeding, and we're just asking
Well,
you.
Then I need
You're the one
to,
that
I need
said-
to come back just a couple of moments. It's a complaint-driven matter. Is there a complainant visible with testimony? Any evidence from a complainant from the neighborhood in this matter, sir?
I think testimony's been heard, Madam Chair. We would ask for a finding of non-compliance based on the testimony.
Wait a minute, wait
I
a
need
minute,
to
wait a minute.
I'll answer
Where's
the,
Mr.
I'll
Anthony?
answer the
Mr.
question.
Anthony, listen, Mr.
It's
Gass,
Mr.
how is it that my calls to you go unanswered, not returned in this matter?
Okay, I'm about done.
You've had emails, you've had personal phone calls. Is there a reason, sir, that you do not call me back?
I'm not aware of those, but.
You're not aware of them? Okay.
But either way.
That's your testimony.
But-
You're not aware of them.
But either way, whether I'm aware of them or not, the point is that, one, you say you don't represent this property, and so I don't know what we would. be
One
talking
says I
about.
do, because I have the power of attorney to represent it in the case back in the day.
Well.
All right, I want this straightened out somehow. I want to know by next time who owns the property.
You should be able to do that.
Excuse me, I don't do that. I want evidence in front of me. It is not up to me to do that.
Okay,
I am asking the city to do that,
all right.
to provide evidence to this board that this property is owned by someone other than you,
Other than my son.
other than your son.
Correct, thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I need, I need some clarification because we're bringing up some other issues, but when I'm reading our agenda and the case number, it says unpermitted fencing installed, expired permit. That's
Where's
all
that?
it says. It doesn't.
Where's
have-
that?
Huh?
Unpermitted renovations, it says.
Case number 41.
What are you talking about?
Case
Oh,
41.
okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was looking at the wrong one.
All right.
All right, I take it
Unpermitted
back.
renovations, parking in yard, and roof damage.
Can we
Are
get
those,
back to
are
that?
those issues resolved, Mr. Stenson?
The unpermitted, I'm sorry, the parking in the yard has been resolved.
All right?
We still have no permits for any of the renovations.
Okay.
And there's still roof damage.
All right, that's what we're going to rule on, and
So-
as far as I'm going to.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me, no.
Listen,
No,
Ouija, stop, stop.
Please, remove him.
You cannot make a statement. You cannot make a statement without an opportunity to respond.
You need to let the board speak. You're out of order, sir.
You are out of order.
How do I get back in order?
You should listen to me.
Well, you were making a motion, ma'am, to move this on.
Sir, you need to be quiet and listen to the board speak. You're being disorderly. Go ahead, Madam Chair.
Okay. There are issues that have not been resolved here, no matter who owns the property. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we are here today to determine whether these issues need to be resolved, whether the case is in compliance or it's not in compliance. We've been presented evidence that shows that it's not in compliance. Would anybody like to make a motion on the board?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
He said his name. What is his son's actual name?
Can I make my motion?
Wait a minute, wait. All right. Wait, before I make a motion, BJ, what's your question, BJ?
I just want to know his son's name. What is his?
Spencer David. Dad is David.
Oh, the son is Spencer. Okay.
And Dad has POA for Spencer.
Thank you.
At least that's what the testimony is.
That's what the testimony is. All right. would
Madam
any-
Chairman,
Go ahead.
you essentially have two parties, as I see it right now, who are respondents. You have the stated previous owner who was owning the property at the time that the alleged violations occurred. You now have a new owner. The transfer does not necessarily relieve the previous owner of responsibility for this. And so you also need to have the new owner added to this. Because they are, I mean, and I am, based on what the or what Mr. Spearn has said, if they are no longer the owners of the property, they can't apply for permits or anything at this point. But there is still the responsibility when it comes to issues such as fines and things of that nature.
If I may be heard,
Yes,
on that issue alone.
Okay.
Mr. Spearman represents that, or has expressed that he is here on behalf of the current owner, that he has that authority.
I'm here on behalf of the former owner.
Okay,
My
so-
son, that's in the citation in the notice.
Okay, so not here on behalf of the current owner?
No.
Okay, so with us not knowing the current owner, that doesn't stop us from going forward.
Correct.
When that current owner is identified and noted, they have that opportunity to be heard if indeed they're involved in this case. We don't have, as he said, if it's in a public record, we'll pull it, we'll notify them, we'll give them the opportunity to come and be heard as it pertains to compliance. It's not the question of where we are today. Where we are today is, do we have violations? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Are they in compliance? The answer is no. Do we have due process? We serve the proper party for due process. So with all of those things,
Excuse me.
with all,
Miss-
yeah, with all of those things done, our position is that we can move forward, and if the
With
board
non-compliance.
so elects, they can make a finding of noncompliance and give them reasonable time to come into compliance. That's the position of the city.
So that's what my motion is.
Okay, so,
Is there an opportunity to come in for a second?
I don't know what more you can say.
Well, here's a copy of the.
Then read me the
recording.
name of the person that's on that.
Scott William.
What took you so long?
Well, why is it your business?
Because he's responsible.
All right,
All I did is-
I'm
you know-
done, I'm done. All right, would you please make your,
It's public
this
record.
hearing is finished. We are now going to let the board discuss what
Well,
we'd
let the
like
board
to
discuss.
do.
How do I still, how do
You
I
don't- you
respond?
don't
How-
do it.
How do I respond to the allegations?
How you respond to the allegations is by fixing.
There's only one prosecutor here, that's Mr. Stenson, right?
Mr. Stenson's not a prosecutor.
Is this,
Well, I'm ready to make a motion.
is this an impartial
in this
court?
situation.
Order. I want order in here. One more outburst and
And what?
I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm
Okay.
going to have you escorted out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Is that his,
In order to leave, is that correct? Thank you.
Portman, is that his piece of paper there on the pan, on the, no, up here by the microphone, I can't, podium? Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead,
can I make my motion?
Yep.
Ready?
please.
Okay, I would like to make a motion in the case of CEB 01-23-09 to adopt the inspector's recommendation that this case be found in noncompliance and that they should be in compliance by our next cutoff date, which would be 2/1, February 1st, and for, if not in compliance, that a fine of up to $1,000 a day take place.
Okay.
I would like to make it very clear that we are technically finding the property in non-compliance.
Correct.
Right, that's what I said.
Needs to be made very clear.
Right.
Not identifying anybody's name.
Right.
Property is in non-compliance.
Right.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but you said the case, and I'm just trying to make it.
Yeah, I said non-compliance.
If I could add to that, the property is a non-compliance, but that relates to the owner issue, okay? And a past owner and a current owner can both be respondents. And that's for them to sort out. But at the time that the notices were issued, and I believe the notice of this hearing, am I correct on that?
You are.
The respondent in this matter was the owner of that property and continues to be responsible. And the statutes provide for the proceeding to go with all of the parties until this thing is
As
resolved.
far as the public record that we're able to address, they're still the owners.
Correct. All right, so we have a motion on the floor. And we have a second from Ms. Ruby. The motion is to find the property in noncompliance. Compliance due 2/1/23. Or fines, consideration of a fine can be held up to $1,000 per day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay. Manhattan, and he doesn't,
Well, this is what makes it exciting.
yeah, it's real exciting. Yeah, really. Cooperation is what we're looking for, is
Right.
compliance, that's it,
Right.
not arguments. Right.
I know.
All right, case 42, CEB 01-23-17, Eric Stack. Oh, hello, are you Mr. Stack?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Eric Stack, 380 Jefferson Street, Daytona Beach.
Thank
you
you
raise
for,
your right
thank
hand?
you for go ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead, I'm sorry, keep doing that.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Alderman, good morning again.
Good morning. This case was opened for permits expired for electrical, building, windows, and doors. First notice was 9/21, compliance date 10/4 of '22. I've had no contact with Mr. Stack. I've been at the house at least 8 times. The last reinspection was January 9th. Property remains in noncompliance. Staff requested determination of noncompliance. Next cutoff.
Okay. Do you have permits?
I did, they're just expired.
Okay, so you have to, you understand, and Mr. Alderman will explain to you that you can't work on an unexpired permit. You have to go get another one.
I'm not working on anything.
Well, but that's, you know.
I understand.
Okay,
I mean,
okay. All right. You have anything else you'd like to know?
I mean, just trying to get my permit renewed.
Okay, good. I think that, I don't know whether that, you talk to Mr. Alderman, go down to permits and licensing and get your permits renewed.
Not a problem.
Okay, good, thank you. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Roby, second? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, so, all right, case number 43, CEB 01-23-18, Lars Holmes LLC. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sorry about that.
My name is Gary Rodriguez. I'm the owner of Lars Homes. Address is 312 Red Wing Way, Castleberry, Florida, 32707.
Can you repeat your name again for me?
Gary Rodriguez.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And where do you live?
I live in 312 Red Wing Way, Castleberry, Florida.
Oh, Castleberry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. We're going to hear from Mr. Alderman, and then I'll let you speak.
Okay, this case was opened for renovation of a single family to a multifamily residence without a permit. The first notice was 10/13 of '22. Compliance date expected 11/13/22, and I have had contact with both of the owners in the past. Reinspection was January 9. Staff requested determination of noncompliance to come into compliance. Next cutoff, please.
What is needed to come into compliance?
From me, it would take a zoning change to take a single family to a fourplex. And on as far as the technicalities of that process, I will give that to the owner.
Did you say to a fourplex?
Yes.
It went from a single family to a fourplex?
Yes.
Madam Chairman, you may want to ask Mr. Alderman to explain what constitutes a change from a single family to a multifamily, what he's basing his.
Okay. Well, the beginning of this case was a management referral. There was 4 separate AC units found on the west side of the structure, and so I made contact with the owner and verified that it was a rental and a multifamily. And in order to make that happen, it takes kitchens, bathrooms, separate accesses, and air conditioning systems.
And these units had those.
Pardon?
I said these units were separate in that way.
Yes.
Okay, well, are there separate entrances?
Yes.
They don't need separate meters?
Yes.
They do need separate meters.
Okay. I'm going to let you speak now, Mr. Rodriguez. Please let us know what you...
Okay, so when I originally bought the property, all the divisions were made. I went in there and I just rehabbed it the way it was. I did add the AC units to it. I did the flooring, the painting.
So already divided into 4 units?
Yes, the whole street, as Mr. Alderman would agree, the whole street is full of multifamily.
Okay.
I've reached out to zoning to try to rezoning. For some reason, they won't allow it. What led me to believe that I was okay in doing this was because it was already divided, and also there's multifamily to my left, to my right. You know, the whole street's full of multifamily. There's barely any single-family homes there. So I just went ahead with what was there. All I did was the cosmetic, the cosmetic work. I didn't do any divisions. We did put some kitchens, and, we remodeled the bathrooms, and then the place is now rented, fully leased, and now they expect me to move it back to a single-family home.
How is it described on the property appraiser's website? Is it single family or fourplex?
It was described as a single-family.
Okay, so there you go.
Yes, ma'am.
So have you already contacted zoning and see if they will let you?
Yes, I have my attorney contact zoning. They won't allow it for whatever reasons. They said their multifamilies in the same street are grandfathered in.
Is there any way that you could prove that it was already divided when you bought it?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference.
So they won't let you put in a zoning change?
No, they will not let me put in a zoning change. The only thing they would allow me to do is to add a detachable to the property, whether it's in the back or the side of the house or something like that. My dilemma is I don't have a problem turning it over to a single family. Obviously, it's a big expense. We're talking about $40,000, $50,000 to do so, even though I've already spent quite some money in it. The other dilemma that I have is that I have families in there with kids, and I can't just put them out on the street because I have to turn this over to a single family. So I'm asking if it's possible for me to get an extension for my leases to be over, for my people to find something. Also, the contractor right now is hard to find. I have to do blueprints. It's a big process, pretty much. So it's not just something that can be done overnight.
You know, if you're in the business, that you need permits,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but you didn't apply for it.
Because I was doing cosmetic work, meaning like flooring, painting, and stuff like that. For the AC, yeah, I probably should. I put mini split. I didn't do a central unit.
What were you planning to do for the parking for you?
For the parking, I mean, there's street parking and there's that big driveway as you see there in the picture.
Yeah, okay.
And to be honest, 2 or 3 of my tenants don't have cars.
Okay. Let me explain to you, sir, that we are not in charge of making zoning rules.
I understand that.
I mean, there is nothing we can do to change the zoning rules or to ask for a change for you. Something you have to do for yourself. We can't advise you what to do. We have to rule on what we know are the rules in the city.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's really all the power we have. We don't have the power to change things.
I totally understand. I'm not asking you to do
Okay.
anything. I'm just asking for a little bit of time.
Well, what's your longest lease?
I think August.
August?
Mhm.
I got a question. Did you ask zoning for a variance?
No, I did not. I was not I don't even know what a variance is, to be honest.
Maybe so you can get some.
Well,
to
we
explain that.
can't, okay, we're not allowed to. I heard you mention an attorney.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll talk to him about it. Yes, ma'am.
All right, what about if we give them like for a comeback in March? So we give them February, this cutoff would be March. You can get with his attorney, maybe file for an variance.
We're not supposed to be giving advice.
But the street is loaded with multifamily.
That doesn't mean that, that's not what we're unfortunately, that is not what we're considering.
I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
that we find them in non-compliance in case number CEB 101-23-18 to come in compliance by the cutoff of March 1st. to come into compliance.
Right. Face the fine. Yeah.
Second. Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Roby and a second from Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Madam Chair. I didn't hear what the compliance date was.
March 1st.
March.
Thank you.
Case 44, CEB 01-23-21. Unzel Christine Hadley, I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry, you'll have to tell me. And Carletta Roundtree.
This is a vacant structure.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oops, sorry.
Here, somebody's coming. Go
Oh.
ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
State your name, please.
Unzel Christine Hatley.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
Thank you.
All right, we'll hear from Mr. Alderman, then you can talk.
Yes, ma'am. This is a vacant, unsecured structure, has roof damage, broken windows, peeling paint, overgrown property, damaged fence, missing address, rotted exterior siding, and rotted exterior doors. The first initial notice was put out 9/16 of 2021. Compliance was 10/16, 2021. I've had no contact up to this point. My last reinspection was January 9, 2023. Property remains in noncompliance. Suggest a determination of noncompliance to come into compliance next cutoff, please.
Ms. Hadley, where do you live? You don't live, nobody lives here, it's vacant. Where do you live?
4306 Colony Way in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what you'd like to tell me. It looks pretty much like this house is not taken care of.
Okay, I have been seriously ill. I almost lost my life. I had blood clots, and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks and a day.
When
And
was
this
it?
this is my mom's house. She passed away in
Is that who
2019.
Carletta is?
Carletta is my daughter.
Okay.
She's here with me.
You own the house now, though?
Yes.
Okay. When was your illness?
It was last year. It was in 2021, the very end of the year.
So in December of 2021, you got sick?
Yes. And then I had multiple family members to pass away. And I'm the elder daughter. So I kind of oversee quite a bit. And I had been taking care of the house as far as the yard and what have you concerned. And after I became ill, it was just a little hard for me to handle and do. And after, the illness and start getting better, I had been coming over here to try and get help because they had it on the records for demolition. And I think her name is Kim, here in the office somewhere. I did speak with her, and she gave me a list of the individuals that do the demolition. I did contact him, I think, a couple of times. He said he was very busy. He would get back with me. I never did hear from him. However, someone from you all's office downstairs, they came out to the house. We talked about it. He told me what I could, get done to kind of help me out. And I've been trying to find folks to help me out, with this. And people seem like they just don't want to work.
Well, that's
And it's been a big
that's
problem.
material, whether they want to or not. I know, we do know that it's difficult, too.
With the COVID, you know, it's really been hard
It's-
trying to get
Things are
someone.
different, and we understand that, but this is really beyond, to me, this is kind of beyond, I mean, this is, they have neighbors, how was this case generated?
It was actually opened up by a previous inspector, but I believe it was the neighbors,
Okay, so complaint-driven,
yes.
really.
I've had more complaints than
I'm
recently.
sure. This can't be. Just can't be.
So I do apologize for that, but I would like, if you would allow me to finish saying something here. I really would ask you to allow me to get this straightened out because the home is really dear to me. It was my mom's, and I want to get it cleaned up
Okay, good.
for use.
That's good.
And if you
That's
would
what we're
just
looking
give me,
for, is compliance.
okay, if you would give me at least until sometime in March to at least show you that I am trying to really do this. And I can say this, that I did have a permit pulled for the roof. And whoever was over this case before, this young man here, he said that they pulled the wrong permit. So
Well, it would have been
That's-
expired by now anyway.
that's where I was
Okay,
left with
all
that.
right, thank you. All right, so do we have, is this house secured, Mr. Alderman?
The last time I was there, no, that door that is on the other photo,
Okay.
that door there was, I actually had to pull the door closed to be
Oh,
able to
nice.
fasten the notice on it.
Unsecure structure, first thing we need. All right, any comments from anybody? Anybody like to make them, okay. The chair will make a motion to find respondent non-compliance in order for respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 2/1/23, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. That's a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Marsh, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Stay in touch with Mr. Alderman. If you come back, you're gonna have to come back here next month and show us a whole lot. Because if you don't show us a whole lot, we are well within our, and it's not, even if it's just not all fixed, we're well within our rights to start fining you.
And Madam Chair, if I could just clarify one thing, you did say March for the,
No,
No,
I said
February.
February.
you did say so?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think so.
all right.
2/1.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a moment with her?
Sure. In the meantime, I'm going to call up case 45, CEB 012322, Earlene Malone and Shirley. Anybody here for that case? Are you coming up for this case?
You said 46?
45.
45.
Is 45 here?
All right, so no show. All right. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Alderman. No one's here for that case.
328 Jefferson, okay.
45, 012322.
Jefferson Street, 328. Okay, this case,
28 Jefferson, yeah?
yeah, this case was open for a fence damaged and falling, damaged roof, rotted rafter tails and overhangs, rotted and damaged siding, broken windows, missing window screens, front stair railing missing, and overgrown trees and shrubs. First notice was 9/14 of '22. And I want to say that this was also revised, so this was also a previous violation.
Okay.
Compliance date was 10/14/22. I have had contact with the owner, Earlene. Her mother is deceased. She is now in charge of this. Last reinspection was January 9. Property remains in compliance. Now,
Compliance? Non-compliance, right?
or non-compliance, I'm
Right,
sorry.
okay.
Staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance next cutoff. Now, I have to add, I was just in contact with Earlene this morning. The property is on the Community Development Program. I was just notified, and so I just want to make that clear to the board.
Who is Shirley Bias?
Shirley, I believe, is the mother,
When she's deceased?
and Earlene is the daughter.
Is Shirley deceased?
Yes. Actually, there was two deceased, the mother and the sister, so I think Shirley may have been the other sister.
Okay, so whatever, all right.
Now, is somebody, are they living in there?
Oh, no.
Okay,
No.
so it's a vacant.
It's vacant.
Yes, vacant structure.
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respond to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned, which 2/1/23, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So,
Yeah?
I also need to mention, I have not verified, so by next hearing, I will have
That's-
verification.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Is it, this one secure, though?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez made the motion, is there a second? Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case 46, oh, they're both yours, okay. CEB 01-23-23, Charles Smith. Hello, Mr. Smith, come on up.
Ah, good.
State your name and address
My
for
name
the
is
record
Charles
and be
Smith.
sworn in.
731 Revere Street, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
So you don't live at this property?
No.
Does anyone?
No.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Alderman.
Okay. This case was opened for peeling paint on main structures, accessory structure walls, door frames, window frames, and siding. Repaint the garage door and paint the front stairs. First notice was July 18, 2022, August 18, 2022 for compliance date. I've had no real contact with the owner, this gentleman, but I have met the tenant on the neighboring house. Reinspection was January 9th. The property remains in compliance. Non-compliance.
We're all getting tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Staff,
Compliance so bad.
I know, exactly. We'd like to see some compliance. That would be nice.
but staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance next cutoff.
Okay. What would you like to tell us, Mr. Smith?
I need just a little bit more time to, the house is over 100 years old, and as you can see, is a lot of rotten wood.
Uh-huh.
And all that need to be replaced, and to get that type wood, you almost have to have it made.
I understand. I live in one of those houses myself. Okay.
So rejuvenizing, redoing all that structure, I need a little bit more time.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. How long have you owned the house?
I was born and raised there, a house over 100 years old.
Okay. And there's no tenant in there now?
No.
Who used to live in there? Did you? You used to live in there?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It'd been
So,
years ago.
so it just kind of just sat there?
Yes, well, what happened was, my mother got sick,
Mm-hmm.
and the house sat there, and then none of the siblings, I have 7, siblings, and nobody wanted to do anything.
Yeah, okay.
But when he cited me, that motivated me to go ahead on and do it myself, and I can't wait
Right.
to see that,
Okay.
So
be
you have
destroyed.
clear title?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I always like to see any old house restored, but that's my bias. I don't know how you
Yeah.
all feel, but, you know.
yeah, mine's is almost 100 too.
Yeah, that was mine. So go ahead. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I would make a motion that in case CB 012323, that we provide a time period of until March for him to come into compliance, and at that time for a fine to begin of up to $1,000.
All right, so we could consider a fine of up to
Right.
$1,000 per day, but we're going to today find it non-compliant.
Correct.
There should be specific finding of noncompliance. as the
Right,
chair said.
I just added that to that motion. All right, so the motion has been made, find noncompliance, give till March 3rd, the 1st of March, to come into compliance. There a second to that? Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, so stay in touch with Mr. Alderman. Find out what you need to do and how it's gonna be done and how it's gonna go.
Okay.
And in his favor, he's working on 2 houses.
Matter
Okay,
of
but
fact,
this is
3
the
houses.
This is the only one, this is the only one we care about at this
They're-
point.
they're
Okay,
over.
good, thank you. All right, case 47, CEB 01-23-24, George Walton Estate. Oh, my, poor, sorry you had to wait. I always feel really bad for the last people, but,
But somebody gotta do that.
yeah.
Kingston, okay.
All right, go ahead, good morning.
Morning. My name is Stephanie Walton Pustai. I live at 841 Kingston Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Can you spell your name for me, please?
Steveieini.
And your last name?
Walton.
Oh, Walton, okay.
Yep, hyphen
And
Pustai.
how are you related to George?
I'm his granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Yes.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
That's- Thank you.
All right, and you don't live there?
I do.
Oh, you do? I thought you gave a different address. I'm sorry. Okay. You live there. All right, Mr. Alderman, what would you like to tell us?
Case is open for dirt, grime, peeling paint on the entire structure, peeling paint on the entry steps, and rotted and damaged fascia boards. First noticed October 15, 2022, compliance by, September, October, December, October for the compliance date. And I have not had any contact with the owner at this point. Reinspection was January 9. Property remains in non-compliance, and staff requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance on February cutoff.
Okay, now, you are the legal owner then, or?
Yes.
Okay,
But it hasn't gone through probate, correct?
Right.
okay. So you're in probate now? Are you in probate now?
I don't know. We tried before, and
Who's
then
we?
Me and my aunt, his daughter, and then she passed, and
So that you're it?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. What would you like to tell us?
I've been trying to work on it. I have been cleaning it the last week. My neighbor has a paint service, I guess. So I've been talking to him about painting it, and he does pressure washing as well.
Okay, dirt and peeling. So paint is what clean the dirt off, paint the steps. And then somebody's got to replace the fascia.
Would she need a permit for that, Mr. Alderman?
For that fascia, I wouldn't think so. It's a repair. The main issue is more on the other side, or on all the way around the house, is the mold that's growing and moss that's growing on the side of the house and on the sidewalks.
Okay, so you're working on those.
Yes.
Any questions from the board? And you're asking?
Are you gonna be able to get it completed by February?
I'm going to try to.
I think she need more time.
Yeah, I'd like to give her till March, March cutoff. Do you want me to make a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay. On case number CEB 01-23-24, to find in non-compliance, and to come into compliance by 3/1/23 for a fine of $2,000.
Second?
Second.
Ms. Okay, so Ms. Roby made the motion, Mr. Gonzalez made a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So try and get that done.
Yes.
And when you do something or it's done, make sure you contact Mr. Alderman. And if you get it all done by then, you won't have to come back.
Okay. Right.
If he gives you the okay. All right. Meeting adjourned.